These futures are looking distinctly different from one another here this morning. We've got the NASDAQ poised to open relatively flat, at least as of right now, and the S&P 500 actually gapping down a bit here now. A lot of this strength in the NASDAQ could have to do with some of these big tech names, specifically Nvidia and Marvell. MRVL getting some love from Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang, calling this roughly $200 billion company the next trillion-dollar company during that joint Computex keynote between Jensen Huang and Marvell CEO Matt Murphy last night. Now, another Mag 7 name certainly going to be discussed today is GOGL, this name pushing lower, trying to raise $80 billion. We know CapEx is a concern. Let's see if it's a concern further here today for Google shareholders. Berkshire Hathaway also implicated in at least part of this financing, according to this Google announcement. Not moving too much here. We had some biotech news on what ABVX to the downside. Lots of earnings to talk about, and even more earnings after the bell tonight and throughout the week. Should be another exciting session. Good morning, Sharif.
Good morning, Adair. Lots to talk about today, guys. HPE here is absolutely ripping up above 27% as we currently speak. Also, MCHP, a name we've been talking a lot about, the less advanced 7 nanometer and above, also gapping up quite aggressively to the tune of 8%. SMCI with a possible new server rack, a tie-up with AMD, also looking good, up 4.5%. Victoria's Secret leading the bunch here, up 37 and 4/5. Very good look for them. AbbVie, as Adair mentioned, ABVX down 32% on the back of a failed study there. So there is no shortage of things to discuss this morning, guys.
Yeah, let's pull up that ABVX there, ABVX, just so you guys can see here, down pretty sharply. Study actually not too bad on its face, but there are some concerns about in higher doses cancer issues here. So that is, again, the ABVX story. I'm also just seeing more quantum news here from IBM. The stories do not stop, guys. Just seeing come across my blotter, IBM committing over $10 billion to quantum computing over the next 5 years. Not a big shock, and but stock bouncing a little bit here. Let's see how this continues. In the meantime, I have one man in front of me who I know is excited to talk about Marvell. Good morning to Sean, and good morning to Neil.
Good morning. I didn't realize, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize what IBM did yesterday.
They went down, yeah, some of the software names were downside, but some were upside yesterday. It was a weird one.
Well, I remember it being gapped up. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I just heard Adair said that. I just pulled up IBM to see if it was moving and didn't realize it had almost a 10% drop from the highs yesterday. Anyways, but this is the market we're in, because if you're flying, a 10% drop is like, meh is the way you got to think about it. Like if Marvell dropped 10%, like what would you think? Meh. Well, if Dell dropped 10%, what would you think? Whatever. It's been up so much. HPE, down the line. And what's crazy is like the market's basically flat, because for all of the stuff that's looking great and strong and all well and good, well, you got Alphabet with that historic raise. They're off the highs, almost 10% now. So almost correction here for Alphabet. Yeah, so, you know, little value might be coming back into this name. Look, Anthropic filed for their IPO, but I mean, the story today is HPE and Marvell, realistically. Jensen says a couple words and you get 20 points. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is, Adair and I were talking about this last week, and we said, as soon as Marvell hits that stage, watch out. And that's exactly what wound up happening. So we're pretty happy on this side here today, as Marvell just creates so much. Last year, guys, we had Palantir, you know, in the account. And, you know, this year we've got Marvell. Let's see what happens coming in the second half of this year, see if we can have a similar pick. But yeah, Marvell, just back in March was $80. Right now it's $270. So we've been talking about this name forever. We actually had this, I was just looking at it right here. Thanks you to Ramin for putting this out. This goes back when we actually had our picks, and we were able to just find Marvell. It was just a nice move there. And the funny thing about it is, Jensen called it 5 times from here. So I don't think this has a $1,000 handle on it, but if it does, then we'd be quite happy with that. So let's see what winds up happening with Marvell over the next little while. And Jensen talking about, and we talked about this the whole time. I mean, that was part of my whole thing, was that this is an ecosystem play, and there it goes to the high side today. It's Marvell, so it's all on our watch list. Everything's ready to rock and roll. That means we got a story coming. Ooh, shake your body. Cuts Q2 outlook citing current macroeconomic uncertainty. Yeah, because a lot of people are, putting their money into Marvell. They're not going to buy burgers. So we got to watch out for what that's SHAK is.
Not that Shack, but the other.
Yeah, 50. Okay, so nice little downside. Did they report or? I mean, I know that's the headline there, so they must have. Unless that's an early.
I'm gonna make a guess and say that maybe.
What's going on with that?
They reported on
$100.
I'm just seeing that they cut their guidance. That's all I'm seeing as of right now. Just a guidance update. If I get more, I'll let you know. But it doesn't look immediately like this is earnings related as of today.
Yeah, take back the dancing when that headline came up. When looking at that chart. The only person you're dancing if you're a short seller on this thing lately.
What is lunch today? I want to get a burger because this is the mood is too good today to be worried about.
What's going on with these
everything? We can actually get Shake Shack in here today, so maybe we should do that for lunch because now that Randy's in here, he's getting the approval stamp.
As long as we're not ordering on Wednesday, because I took a slight peek.
Oh, you're not here one? You're not here tomorrow?
No, Wednesday's a good. Well, remember you put up the lunch and I snuck a peek. Wednesday.
Oh, you saw the lunch already. Okay. Are we using these huge mics that are pointing right at our faces yet, or what?
I don't know, man.
We have a whole bunch of new microphones.
They're intense. You guys can't see
here.
them. We don't have a camera that gets them.
No, don't worry about it for now. Who cares? Don't worry about it, Andre. But yeah, IBM was down, and then we get that little story there from IBM, which I have no idea what it was, but it started to move a little higher there. Oh yeah, investment into quantum, $10 billion more. So, the U.S. government's already sort of dropped a little bit of money into this space, and IBM was recipient, I think it was $2 billion. I guess now they're putting in 10 more of their own money into this. And then, yeah, I only have one name written down today, and it's Google, and it's going to be a short, man. I mean, I don't want this name to be short, but we sold some ARM, we sold some NVIDIA. Well, we didn't buy, sold some NVIDIA, sorry. We sold some AMD, we sold some Intel. Should have sold all of the damn crypto. But yeah, looking to get some more money into something. And you actually did the math already, and Neil had mentioned that it was almost 10% there.
Oh,
no, rough math.
I just eyeballed it, man.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. This is obviously an eyeball as well. But yeah, 9 to 10% down now from I guess the math is quite easy, right? 405 to 360. So yeah, down $40 there on Google, and not great, man. Now that you are finally having to. Raise a little bit more money. Is the CapEx story over with? I guess not. They're dropping in $80 billion more looking to raise those funds. And Berkshire came in and gobbled up some of that as well. So there goes Nvidia up today on more positivity, right? I mean, this is what we did. We rotated out of AMD and Intel last week and bought more Nvidia. And we weren't feeling it when it was at 215 is when we bought it. It did go down into the 206, 207, 208 area, and then nothing but upside. Oh my gosh. There
Dragos. Oh, that's right, HPE.
All right, best day in the market for me ever? Well, hold on. The market's not open yet, but we'll just say awesome.
He had HPE.
Yeah, I know, but I just, you never know. You never know.
Options on HPE.
Oh, then you're laughing.
You're laughing.
Congrats on the Marvell run.
30%.
Yes, you are. Congratulations to you too. I mean, it looks like we both hit the jackpot overnight.
Got to ring the red.
And HPE's been an absolute. I mean, if you had HPE shares since January as well, Dragos, thank you so much for the.
That's 3x HPE. The number of stocks that are 3, 4x. Well, okay. Well, I'm thinking of 4, but there's probably a lot more. The ones I can come up with, the Dell and HPE we know about, Marvell and ARM are easy ones, but there's got to be at least. I'm sure there's
all those rocket ones were going. Well, okay, now they're back.
Fair enough. I guess I'm really just thinking
now they've landed.
X-Base because they've come back a little bit.
Oracle's on a huge run. They're from 130 almost up to 3 or 280 or something like that right now. But those other names are just gone off, right? I mean, there's been a whole bunch that have gone off the rails there. But Dell and HPE, the computer game keeps on going higher, right? I mean, that's part of the Intel story.
Exactly.
So Intel inside, and HPE, what a quarter that they just put out. And we saw Dell, give us the goods, and then Hewlett-Packard came out as well. I think it might be their best day in the history off of an earnings report. And there that name goes, and 20, $25, like $65, like what a move there. As Neil just mentioned, 3x alone for that one. And Marvell, I think, even from we were looking, Adair and I we were all looking at this back in March, because I said, wow, when we talked about it in January, it was 80, but it didn't really do anything, and then there's March 5th, it was $80. So, 80, 60, 240, so just over a third, 3x on this one as well. But hey, man, they're all starting to go, and guess whose turn it is next? Step up to the plate, Broadcom, because you're going to be the next one going, I feel like. There's up another 6%. And actually, oh my, wow, that's hilarious. Last week, we were talking about scanning this thing for a free protein shake from Beyond Meat there, and you would have got that. And then now, all of a sudden, wow, what a breakout. We actually were on this last week, and I didn't realize this had happened. So congratulations to Broadcom shareholders as well, because that chart is looking pretty healthy. You know, base it out down here, break, go higher, make a brand new base, break, go higher, make a brand new base, break, go higher, hopefully there for Broadcom. Thing is, now that I see Randy in here right now, you know, it's like, I'm wondering if he's going to get the coffees. Now I can see the situation.
Well, for you, it's like, I actually sometimes will forget because he's blocked.
Now it's too much. I feel the pressure.
Until he gets up, I can't see the guy.
When Randy's sitting here, I feel a lot of pressure. I feel like we have to perform at a higher level because of Randy.
Randy.
And congratulations, Randy's daughter got a gem of a deal.
I was about to say, yeah, Randy's daughter got her first car.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Yeah, when Randy comes back, we'll let him tell, because that's got to be a great moment.
Yes, so that was. I don't know if it was her first one, but it was.
No, he said it was her first car.
Yeah, I heard the story, but I didn't hear that part. So
that's a big moment. Everyone, you remember your first car, and it's like,
yeah,
usually.
Mine was. I didn't get one until I started working. So my first was something. I think it was an 02 Accord. Sedan, and it was really, I thought it was pretty hot when I got it at the time, and then I started having a family and had to get rid of the 2 doors. So
yeah, 2 doors doesn't work as well. When you gotta lug the family around there.
You know, I didn't look at Berkshire because they're the ones that put $10 billion into Google already, and I do own a little bit of this, and okay, nothing. I didn't know if there was going to be some market effect on Berkshire.
Oh, what the close today? Constellation is.
When's Quantinium?
$340 million worth of buy at the close. It's only a 1.3 Constellation CEG.
Oh, CEG. Okay,
it's weird because they're coming. It's like it's a float increase on the S&P 500. So it's not like it's not an addition or deletion, but like that could be a little bit of something. One of the I didn't center those.
I got to get.
This one could be spicy because I love when you have like a support level and you've got an index action at the end of the day. So you almost want. It's weird. You almost want the stock to be down or like at the support going into the close, because we know the close can move things. It's a $270 stock. That's why the 1.2 matters, and that's the offering. Yes, Sean Dog. They had a secondary, which is why the float has to increase. So that one could end up in play. Another name which is breaking out. Stop me if you've heard of this one before. We're thinking of all the names that have gone from January. Well, Nokia. There's 2.5 times. That's gapping above highs after they had a 3-day pullback, and then yesterday was a ramp job. Continuation play. I got this one on the list today, just looking for the pullback into the consolidation. I almost said constellation. The consolidation yesterday. So we'll see. That one looks like a good one.
Who did that? And here's another one, a fully and always investable and a must-have in everyone's long-term portfolio. Just kidding. Virgin Galactic. There's another one that just went up 4x in the last 2 weeks. Trying to pull back, is pulling back. This name was just was that real? Was that just at 560? But anyways, this name's starting to get whacked. You know, remember Whack-A-Mole? That was a fun game, Whack-A-Mole. I used to be pretty good at that one. All the way back down into $7. We'll have to wait to see if Space and Virgin Galactic gets going there today. RKLB. We're going to throw it back to Sharif there now. But yeah, there goes RKLB up 2%. So that's good. That's starting to get going here as well. So nice to see all the movements. And yeah, just what it is today is a lot of fun and a lot. There he is. Hey, Randy. We wanted to hear when you get a maybe in a couple minutes, we wanted to hear that story about their daughter there grabbing that car, because you are very, very excited about it.
We've all been in this moment. What did you get? An Accord?
Yeah, I got an Accord, a 2-door 2002.
Mine was a CRX.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, it's because you're cooler than me.
Mazda 626.
Hey. So, yeah, she's been saving her money for like a couple of years. And we've been shopping and looking around, and she got a Volkswagen Rabbit. And you got to look up all the Rabbit commercials from the early 2000s on YouTube, because, man, they're funny. Anyway, she's a Wabbit owner, so we got a Wabbit in the house.
All right, well, that's a Wascally Wabbit there.
She's a Wascally Wabbit.
Congratulations on that one. We're really proud of that. And yeah, take good care of it. I wonder what insurance would be on that thing. Probably not too bad. Oh, P-Fair, I was going to say $210 a month, so good job over there, the VW Rabbit. And we've been really happy with my Volkswagens as well, so it's a great little thing there. I got to download some new, yeah, it's almost one, yeah, $210 a month. Just, you know, pick up a share of Marvell, pick up a share of Nvidia, and put that in your pocket. But all right, so that was good. You guys remember what was your first car back there, Sharif?
Mercury Cougar. Bought it in my final year of high school, OAC, and I had to actually get a job to get that car. So that was one of my favorite cars, and I'm actually thinking about buying the exact same one. It was a sky blue, gray leather interior. I actually saw one on Auto Trader available for sale. I think it was like $3 or $4 grand. Just the problem is, no house to put it in anywhere. So got to get the house first, boys.
In high school, you like those Cougars?
I've never been a fan of Cougars, Katina, man. It's not down my alley, baby.
I like that. I like that one. This guy's doing big things in high school over here. All right, what is it, Blue Day around here? I just noticed, Sharif. We're in it, Neil's in it. What does Joe got? Oh, Joe. You kind of got a blue collar. He's got a blue collar going on there. Adair, yeah, okay, here we go, man.
Adair.
It says Blue Jays, Maple Leafs, Argos,
Hey.
Blue Bombers, Adair. There he is.
go.
Are we making that bet, Joe? You want the Canes, or what do you want to go? What do you want to go with over there? You're good with Vegas?
When does it start?
Okay, it's tonight.
It's tonight. Okay.
Tonight starts, and then tomorrow.
I don't want to make the bet. I already
Oh, he's too. He doesn't want to go double or nothing. He doesn't trust. But that was a good call against the Avs. But I'm surprised you don't want it against the Canes. All right.
That's no fun.
When you're at the top, Katina, man, everybody tries to come for you, right? So now I get to pick everything.
Joe, I know
That's
that. I know
where
the feeling.
big dog, right?
I've never made a sports bet that I wasn't willing to go double or nothing if it gets to the next round.
Listen, man, I'm at the top right now, Neil. So you can come to me with something, and maybe I'll think about it.
I am trying to come with
the
you with
only
something.
bet Joe suggested for sports is literally it's like all season long. I gotta wait till the World Series. We have.
Oh yeah, you have him. You have it. He has the field. No, you.
I have the field.
He has the Dodgers. I actually like Joe's spot, but
I mean, look, the Dodgers is the next team in baseball. I'll take the field almost any sport. I don't like it in the NBA most times, but in almost any other sport,
I'll take the Rams.
Over
then I got to go against these guys, but
the Rams aren't favored to win it.
Mm-hmm.
They're
heavy favorite.
Let's see them stay healthy first. Let's see them stay.
That's
healthy.
always the thing about sports, right? I mean, that's the same thing with the Dodgers.
That's
right?
why you always take the
Shohei or something. They're screwed, right? Shohei just missed a whole year 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, Tommy John
3 years ago. Yeah, so you never know what's going to happen over there. Then they'll just buy somebody else. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk. 8:17. Wow, we just killed.
Let's go.
Hey, we still have over an hour to go here before the open. I do want to talk about Google, of course, but I want to go over this Shake Shack. I know not a massive mover, but just to kind of contextualize this here for SHAK. They cut every aspect of their guidance here for fiscal 26 and especially for Q2. They're now expecting revenue here between 415 and 420 million versus 424 to 428 million previously. Same Shack sales. I love that they call that metric that, not same store sales, but same Shack sales. They initially seeing growth between 3 and 5% for Q2. Cutting that to 2.5% to 3%. Have you ever had Shake Shack, Sharif?
I have not.
Yeah, me neither. So I was wondering how their sales are doing, but apparently same Shack sales, not growing as quickly as we were once expecting. Let's talk here about GOOGL, Alphabet. Not a great look here for this one today. They're trying to raise some money, $80 billion, about $10 billion of that going to be helped out here by Berkshire Hathaway.
Absolutely, that's correct, Adair. But the headlines are a little misleading. The mainstream media is leading with, $80 billion. They're looking to buy more computers, more servers, and invest more in AI. That's not exactly how it's working out. So let's get to this. 80 billion, yes, but when you look at their SEC filing, 40 billion of that 80 is going to be at the market program. It's going to start in Q3, and it's going to be used specifically to switch to a sell-to-cover employee compensation model. So about $30 billion of that $40 billion is actually going to go to pay off the IRS tax liabilities that are going to ensue as a result of that employee stock units that are going to vest. So that's point number one. So essentially half of that $80 billion is not going to be used to buy computers and expand for the AI. Obviously, there are some implications with employees getting paid and the productivity therefrom. Also, dilution, also a concern here. So they're very aware of that, and they're engaging with their underwriters, specifically Goldman, JPMorgan and Morgan Stanley to basically get into these, what they're called capped call transactions. And they're basically complex options that mathematically are designed to reduce the potential common stock dilution for shareholders. So they're very alive to this issue. Now let's talk about that $174 billion in operating cash flow that they had I believe, over the last 12 months. Not enough for them to be able to get into this new employee compensation model and also spend on AI. So this has analysts a little bit worried here. They're saying basically that 2027 number, which they specifically said was going to be a lot more aggressive than the 180 to 190 billion in capex that they're going to spend in 26, could be markedly higher than what they were projecting initially. Then let's get the Berkshire Hathaway angle of this. Greg Abel. Very, very good negotiator here. What did he do? He basically bought a he got a private placement discount. So he bought about $5 billion in Class A shares at about $351 each. That's markedly lower, obviously, than where Google's trading. And he got Class C shares at $348.20 each. So big savings there for being a bulk buyer. Then last but not least, there's a $4.5 billion underwriter over-allotment option, essentially possibility of another $4.5 billion being bought up by their underwriters, adding more to the dilution concerns. So a lot to look into this Google raise here, Adair.
Yeah, interesting look there for GOOGL. I know you mentioned looking at this one earlier today, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I have, thanks for that, Adair. Yeah, I have Google written down here today. I was just a sell. I mean, it's for the exact same reasons that Sharif just mentioned there. And I was hoping for, oh, actually, I wrote down 270, 370. Yeah, oh, thank God, not 270, right there for Google. So, yeah, I was just thinking, you know, a bump up a little bit here. We'll try to fade anything. I'm a little bit nervous that Wall Street's reaction is this bad, you know, down another 3% there today. You know, we've awarded and, you know, celebrated CapEx plays before. So today it's just another 80 billion. They're able to raise it. So it'll be fine. You know, their cash position's pretty strong. I don't really see too much of a problem with doing something like this. I'm surprised it's down that much, but I'm not the one, you know, controlling this move. You know, bigger traders are, and they don't like it, and it's making a move down. So I think there could be a bounce spot in and around 360. We could maybe wait to see if that gets picked up, or this bottom there is 350. That might be a match. And I remember when this was happening before, and I was like, you know, during this kind of a drop down, and we were thinking, all right, where did we want to see where this could land? Because we went to 350 just recently, and we came all the way back to 280. Like, that was a pretty, like, right there, this just happened, right? And this was a month ago, so this was, well, not a month ago, I guess. We saw the sell-off at the beginning of the year. But that was down right there, 17%, you know, from February 5th to April 1st. And then we had April and May, and, you know, the market was off from there. So for me, it's just like, is this move about to happen again? Potentially. And if it does, then I think we do want to scoop. And the next little level here would be just where we just identified, right? 340, 350 area. So that's probably where Google finds a bid, and then they release another story, and then it goes right back up to 410 again. So I, you know, like the stock, don't love it here. So today it's the only idea that I have, and it's a short. So I'm going to try to find a few other ones, and I wish we were thinking long, maybe shorting the market or something, but I don't know. For me, Google is a sell today. I don't really like the rhetoric there that we're hearing, and I thought it was a little bit of a overextension on this, but, you know, if it pops up a bit, we'll sell it. So that's what we're doing. They're selling new shares to, as Sharif just mentioned there, yeah, people in the chat, you can go get it. It's on our watch list, and it's also on Sharif's morning note there. And yeah, diluting the shares, diluting their position. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with Google there, downside, and Berkshire's picking some up. So
the good news, though, is if it gets to 350, the Berkshire price, it'll go from 26 to about a 25p. And if it gets any lower than that, then you're talking about buying Alphabet at a mid to low 20s P. And trust me when I tell you this, once SpaceX is out there and people start talking about that and Anthropic, yeah, Alphabet will look better and better by the minute once you have those IPOs come out. Like when they hit and you're like, this is the valuation paying for that, yeah, Google's 4.5 trillion is going to look very, very reasonable in about 2 weeks when people are paying more attention to SpaceX. And everything you get from SpaceX, like everything you're getting from SpaceX and Anthropic, you're getting in Alphabet and Amazon, and you're going to get them cheaper, and everyone's going to realize that in the back half of this year. But we do have our good friend, Joey Options, to talk about some. I wonder if bless you, Shreve. I wonder if Marvell will make this options list today.
Not today. Not today, Neil. All right, let's take a look at some of the activity from yesterday, guys. NVDA. All right. Strike price 225. That's going to be expiring this week, guys. We're going to be looking at the open interest. It's quite a bit. We're now in the money on these, so expect this contract to change after the open. Now, 80,400 at that specific level, with volume at 102,000 open and closed on yesterday's session. Now, as for the bid and the ask, sitting on a $5 spread, and that's typical for NVDA. Now, our delta is going to increase after the open here, guys, with that gap up this morning. Gamma exposure, relatively light. It's under $2 here. And then the at-the-money IB sitting at 49%. Moving forward, thank you very much. DRAM on the list as it continues its climb, hitting all-time highs yesterday, guys. We're going to be looking at that $75 marker. Open interest around 17,600 with volume around 3,820. Now a $10 spread here, guys, on that $75 strike price. That's going to be expiring a couple of weeks from now. Now, as for our Delta 22, that's going to slightly increase as well to gamma exposure. You're sitting around $2.50 there, guys. Nothing substantial just yet, and our at-the-money IB sitting around 89.9%. Now, to move over the contract itself, 26% over the past couple of hours here, on yesterday's session, I should say. So that's not bad whatsoever. When you climb about 6-7% in the actual underlying, you get 3 times that in the options contract pricing. Moving forward, we're going to be looking at HPE. Neil, we got this one on. Maybe we'll take a look at Marvell tomorrow, but no open interest on this one. All right, guys, we're going to have to wait until the open. There is some liquidity issues. You usually get that metric, but with the names that aren't as commonly traded, you're going to fall into that realm where it's like, hey, I can't actually see where the supply is lying in some strike prices, and that strike price is going to be at the $65 marker. So we are out of the money on this one, guys. 16,800 contracts opened and closed on yesterday's session, and you can see how wide the spread is. We're sitting at $1.72 on the bid and $1.95 on the ask. Now, as for our delta, expect that to increase after the open, considering we're up substantial here. And then your gamma exposure, relatively light, sitting under $2. Our at-the-money IB sitting around 281%. So a lot in what we're going to see in the change in the ask and the bid here after the open is going to be priced in from your implied volatility. Now, as for the underlying, this is just a steady climb from $1 up to $2. So you get a little bit over 100% on this specific contract, and congratulations to Dragos on that big move on HPE. Also, my first car ever, a 1996 Hyundai Elantra hatchback, guys. Yeah.
Hyundai. Well, Sharif's shaking his head at that, like that's whatever.
Yeah, Sharif doesn't approve of that one. Yeah, that's awesome, Joe. Thanks for, we love those recaps there of the options. And I mean, I think it's important to see the open interest, as Joe said. Those are names that you might, especially for us as day traders. And we actually did that scanner video yesterday, and that's part of it, right, is that, you may see an opportunity, but are others also seeing that opportunity to create volume? And you actually just showed me one name there, this PMI there, Picard Medical. The captain is involved in this one, I guess, because this has gone now from 16 cents all the way to 40 right here. It's already done just a small 220 million shares here today. So PMI, is that on our radar here?
It's on the watch list.
Okay, so there we go. Once again, I'm gonna pop this watch list out. Even I don't know what's on it apparently, but you guys should all know what's on this one, because if you scroll right to the bottom generally, and there it is right there. Adair is always including a couple wild ones, and there it is right here. On Monday afternoon, the company announced the ouster, of Bernard Skaggs. That's an awesome name, Skaggs. CFO, I think that used to be a wrestling guy's name. CFO and the appointment of Georgina Smith. So there we go. For some reason, out goes Bernard, in comes Georgina, and the next thing you know,
100%.
This stock is flying right now to the upside. So there goes PMI. So it's not Chicago PMI or anything like that. This is Picard Medical. happening.
Why not? It's going to do 1 billion shares today, probably. Like, it's crazy.
I think at least, man, at this point. And the AMEX stocks do that, man. The NYSE American, when they start flying around, I don't know what's up with that, but they do so much volume when there's something like that. We had that one name that was forever. I forget what it is now, but it was doing like 1 billion shares a day.
Randy was just saying NEO to us.
Yeah, he was saying NEO, yeah.
NEO.
Yeah, we got it. We
got it. NEO had deliveries, obviously. Well, it's the beginning of the month, so they pretty much always.
You see what I'm saying about the pressure from Randy over here?
I know. It's like now.
It's like now we have to know everything about everything now.
It's done less than 1 million shares pre-market. We were just talking about Picard that was doing 220 million in volume, Randy.
He's like our manager or something now. He's just supervising over us, and I have a direct look at him, so he's like shaking his head.
At least for me, I don't see him. Like my monitors are blocking, man. I got
to perform better over here. Okay.
It's so dark. You gotta get a light over there.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. This fits him perfectly. I don't need less light on that man over there. There he is. Hey, give a wave, Randy. Andre's got you on. Randy, give a wave. There he is. Okay. All right. Let's go back. Unless you wanted, did you look at NEO? Or?
No, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, I looked at it because Randy said it, but this is what NEO's doing. Like, first of all, you can't say barcode. You said it for another stock. That's a barcode. This is a barcode on a stock. And there's nothing wrong. It's up 3%. There's nothing wrong with 3%. There's nothing wrong with it trying to maybe break a bit of a trend here. Maybe there's a $6 level out there. But there's so many other names that are running on high volume. Is AIM going? Oh, that's the stock. Was AIM the stock you were thinking about? No. Maybe not. It was another Amex runner. Just be careful with this one. They ain't known for the old.
No. I was talking about not CEG. There was an energy name that kept on getting split, and I could look it up, but it was setting records for volume. So that maybe someone in the chat would know what it was. There used to be an old NYSE American .am name.
Did it go under?
It might still be around. I can't remember what it is. We'll figure it out after a minute, but anyways, all right. Let's go back over to the desk now, 8:30. I don't think there's any major numbers. I wanted to show you that watch list, right? And I think that if you guys,
JOLTS today.
Yeah, if you guys want to sign up, you can get that for absolutely for free. There's everything on here, including, Fed's Hammock is speaking right now. Then there's the jobs opening, and all the highlights that you possibly need. We're going to do the rundown around 9 o'clock, but everything on here is tradable. That's the whole point, right? This is kind of like it is a curated watch list for you based on stuff that we'll be talking about and based on things that are moving. There's always, hundreds of names that are moving, but we do a good job of drilling it down for you. So check the link in description and make sure that you do sign up for that one as well. But all right, Adair, let's go back over there. Some interesting stories developing as we speak.
Yeah, of course. One thing I do like to do on the watch list is also have events that maybe haven't happened yet, but are going to happen. And one of those that is on our watch list today is Microsoft Build. MSFT is holding this Build event, the keynote with CEO Satya Nadella, to take place at 12:30 p.m. Now, he doesn't name any other speakers, which a lot of places will do if they're doing keynotes, but he did, I believe the keynote description said there's going to be some kind of special guest, so we'll have to wait and see. Likely they're going to be internal, so other people from Microsoft. But this MSFT event could get interesting today, Sheree.
Yeah, the annual Builder Developer Conference. Some of the headlines we're expecting today are, the Copilot agents throwing their hat into the agentic AI ring. Copilot's really kind of been behind some of these frontier models. But we're also looking for a plethora of new Windows ARM-based systems. Now, if you know anything about ARM-based systems versus x86, you know that it was much maligned because a lot of the software that runs off Windows didn't exactly vibe well with some of these ARM processors, but Windows and Microsoft specifically really likes ARM because of their power efficiency. Also expected today is the embedding of a 3.3 billion parameter small language model going to be on device. We've been seeing this a lot, whether it's from Microsoft, whether it's from Apple. The localization of small language models on device needn't go to the cloud. Last but not least, here to kind of win over developers who are still skeptical of Windows on ARM-based systems, they're touting this new Prism emulation engine, and it claims that it runs legacy x86 apps as efficiently as it would on an Intel or an AMD system. So we'll watch out here, see exactly what they've got on tap for today, Adair.
Yeah, also on watch here today, a name that I know you were talking about earlier here, Sharif, and it also starts with a micro, at least the company's name here, Microchip, MCHP, with some data center solutions business projections of note.
Saying that their data center solutions is going to grow by 65% year over year, roughly to around $500 million in fiscal 2026. But the CEO here really wanted to stress that the media is mischaracterizing this data center narrative as one that's associated or adjacent to AI. Not so, he says. In fact, he pointed out that he only has about 18% exposure to AI-related data centers. The rest of it really is what he calls general purpose catalog microcontrollers. Again, this company is very good, kind of like Texas Instruments, at creating those non-advanced 7 nanometer or above chips. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, let's also see how this market fares today as we get comments from Fed's Hammock. Once again, guys, Beth Hammock is a voting member. She's talking about some inflation concerns, saying as of right now, she thinks holding rates is the right way to go. However, she did acknowledge that if inflation continues, there could be reasons to potentially hike, and they might have to react soon, she said. So we're going to have to wait and see here. Once again, cautious Fed comments as we send you back over to Sean and Neil. Microchip, Microsoft, or both, guys?
Ron.
Yeah, I mean, Micron's way more exciting. Let's just see what
Microsoft is pretty exciting.
Well, value-wise, it gets better value-wise. Just checking out to see if we've actually had any movement. We're still 50-50 end of the year, stay put, or you get a raise. So that's really not changed at all. If we go to March of 2027, then you see a greater chance of a raise. But I think no one's really thinking cuts at the particular moment. Well, you know what, Microsoft... It's finally gone. We've been talking about the software names. Oh, I always do this. I don't know why it doesn't stay centered, but it's just like, I don't know, for you guys. Make it easier. The software names have been on a pretty good rally. What you really want to see, for Microsoft, it did the break. You wanted it to get through that 430. That's now happened. And it's so similar to Palantir. Did the break, saw the 200 period moving average, got a little bit scared, and now it's kind of like backtracking off that a bit here. But it's still putting in, I know it's been a depressing and disappointing stock, but even with a pullback, you're still pulling in higher lows. I doubt you see a retrace all the way to 430 today, but that'd be the next place of interest on the way back. Like that, the prior resistance turning into a little bit of support. There's some history with that price. When you go back into last year, like it started a ridiculous algo buy rally about 425 to 430 as well. If you see that in the next couple of days, that'll be a good spot to look for a bid over there on Microsoft. Just don't know if like it's got that if it's got a nice profile for a potential short trade, and it's already down 3%. And that's the thing, like if it looks like a short setup and a stock is down 3%, then usually 3% is a really good day. Like, do I think there's enough here for Softy to be down 5, 6, 7%? I don't know. Like I lean back to just go over to like the regular places, like Intel was a good short, filled in the gap, hit the 113, came back, eventually got down to 107. Like this has been it's like a continuation play for Intel. Already showed you the top at 125. Now you're making another leg down, so I want to be able to short the pop again into the 11s and the 13s for them. So I'll probably favor Intel again, and I mean Bitcoin's at like 69,000. So stop me if you heard this before. That's also going to be a short.
Yeah, no, I wanted to look at MCHP here because that was a good look there. You can see right now, you don't see too many of these names with a short float like this. That's 6% short right there. And the other thing about this is, look at the market cap, just $49 billion. We did hear Nvidia today, Jensen give that call out to Marvell, and we saw what that stock did. You know, now all of a sudden, here's another data center name. I'm not going to pretend to know everything about what they're doing. I mean, we just talked about it off of the watch list there. PCIe controllers, things like that. I mean, this is just a storage play. So we've seen Micron really start to go to the high side, and maybe even just with a 7% short float, we'll see if this name wants to break out and take out the top end of that trade. But that is MCHP starting to go a little off right there as well. And, you know, we talked about some of the software plays, and I was like, even debating this yesterday. I was like, and I said this on the show, right? It's Salesforce kind of got to get out of jail free card there with some of these software names going to the high side, but we got to be able to hold. Yesterday we said we got to hold this 205, and then today we come in and we're already down to 200. So, you know, that was a nice little bump up there for anybody that was invested in Salesforce. mentioned getting some out yesterday for myself. I didn't do it. And remember, we're just traders over here. You got to trade your own books the way you feel appropriate. And maybe there is a run coming in the software names and in the IGV. But for right now, that continues to go to the downside right there. I wanted to just to say again, a big shout out and a big thank you to Dragos. I mean, I see that it's in the chat there. Your $100 super chat, you nailed that on HPE. So we can just go back and have another look. I mean, this is part of that whole sector that just continues to keep climbing higher. We saw Dell last week off their report, their best day in their history, up 32%. And now today you get HPE on the back of that, up another 30%, not another, but another 30% to be honest with you. This name was $22 back in March. Now we're looking at $60 there. And then congrats on the Marvell. You are welcome for that one, man. We talked about Marvell all year. It's one of the picks of the year, so we're doing quite well with that one. But hey, you know what? You throw a couple darts, you hit it, and it's just about, you know, trying to figure out where is there profit-taking opportunities. If you think this name is still going to keep running, then you've got one, and there goes HPE. You know, congratulations to anybody that played options on that yesterday, obviously with an implied move of more than double what they were looking for today. HPE, I think it was around 10% or so last night. There's the move up 30%. So, you know, those options are going to be flying around. So again, big congratulations to everybody that's looking at that name today. And then honestly, Google downside, but it's Nvidia that's going to continue. And I hate talking about this, well, I don't hate talking about the same names, but Nvidia today, and I even said to Neil, I was like, wow, we're almost back, you know, right to sort of that post-earnings and pre-earnings bump up that we just got there into 240, right back into 210. Now we'll see if we can make a run back to that top. I'm excited to maybe trade that as a breakout, 236.50. Not going to happen today, but let's keep our eye on Nvidia. If you lose it, then you lose it, and you know you got to stay on the stocks that are hot. And then talk about crypto again today. I feel, you know, like when I, you know, myself, we talked about it on the show, bought some at 66, and now it's just like tank city again, back into 69. I mean, look what IBIT's been doing the last 2 weeks. You know, 46 back in, now breaks back down through 40, and we're almost at that low point again, where if we don't hold that, I mean, we saw Saylor yesterday talking about, you know, lighting the load there on Bitcoin. I think it was Mark Cuban also dumped all of his Bitcoin, and I don't really hear the bull case too much anymore. You know, Ethereum with BMNR might be a play. ETHA, if we're going to talk about stable coins and we're going to talk about tokenization, we know what Ethereum's role in that is too, but look at this, man. This is the same kind of move all the way back in here. So is crypto dead? I mean, I don't know. I thought we would have got a bump up in the last couple of days with the software cohort going.
Wait till next year, man. It's the whole, it's that halving cycle, and
yeah,
it's probably bearish till it does. This just happens, man. It's just, you got to get used to it, and there's been nothing about this that has changed. Like since we lost trend in like late last year, and probably in November you could make the argument there. But like since it's lost trend, it's been another leg down. You've had these little bit of up channels, but then that's resolved in losing the bid, and you got another one of these. I hate to draw too many lines on the chart, but like this, like little channel broke down heavy. And then this little channel's breaking down now. Why wouldn't we see a 5 handle on Bitcoin? Like I've been believing 5 handle, but I've also been believing 5 handle the entirety of the year on Bitcoin. It's taking a little bit longer to get down there. Well, technically, I think we might have wicked under 60,000, like 59, like 9 something.
Oh, did we at one point?
Maybe it did. If it did, it was by like $100 or something. To me, that doesn't really count. But I still think you're going to see that 500 is the next big test. Or sorry, 500. 50,000 is the next big test. But today, it's another look for the short the pop scenario. But let's see some upgrades and downgrades. Okay, I guessed wrong that we're going to see Marvell on the options.
Did it get upgraded?
But
I'll take it.
Will we see it on the upgrade list? Maybe not, because it was just a keynote mention. It might not be there. We'll see.
Let's go find out. Joe.
Be wrong twice.
That all up there. Yeah, this is like clock it, I think it means, or something like that. So clock it. No, I was trying to get him to, what it means? It just, I think clock it just means like book it, like, it's like factual, you know, like, Man, I'm 40 years old, Sharif. I mean, come on, man. You're asking me.
I don't know what that means.
Clock it?
I don't know.
I think that's about what it is, yeah.
Okay.
But anyways. All right, let's go give it back to someone who's going to clock this thing out right now.
All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the analyst actions here this morning. We're going to kick things off with Google Alphabet, $80 billion debt raising here, guys. Price reduction by HSBC from $435 down to $420. You're down 2.6%. Now, Okta here down 5.9%, going from an outperform to neutral here with a $125 price target by Mizuho. Now, Intuit also getting the downgrade, guys, going from a neutral way to a sell and slicing its price target in half to 276 from 519. Goldman Sachs giving out that downgrade. And then Sherwin-Williams here, guys, going from a buy to a neutral weight, also reducing the price to $330 from $385 by UBS. Moving forward, let's take a look at a name that is up substantially, 25% here, guys. HPE going from a hold to a buy and a price target increase to $75 all the way up from $23. TripAdvisor getting the nod from Wedbush as well, going from a neutral to an outperform here. You're up 2.5%, increasing the price target to $19 from $12. Now Meta also getting the nod, guys. A buy rating now, increasing its target is Areta from 614 to 735. Now Oracle, we're down here, guys, 4%. But Scotiabank increasing its price target to $290.
Should have upgraded that PMI stock, that penny stock. Since we brought it up on the volume, ridiculous volume. It's past the $250 million mark already. Just hit 40 cents, which of course would be the high. So it's on the watch list. It's doing ridiculous. We talked about this with relative volume. So it's doing absurd RVol there. Oracle, I mean, it's not going to look good when you're down 4% into a flat market. But if you look at sort of the theme for some of the depressed names here, like Microsoft is down a few points after making a good run. You're seeing Palantir pull a little bit back after it's made a recent breakout. This just feels like the 3-day pullback, kind of, bang, 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 and then the third day you get the pullback.
Ooh, a triple bang.
That's what it looks like here on Oracle. So I wouldn't call it the move being over, maybe just a little reset. I don't know if it can get down to the 200 period to give you an entry there. That seems a little bit far away, maybe 225. Kind of like Softy, like it's got some pullback levels that are going to make some sense. Palantir is the same way. Here, you got your break at the trend, it got to the 200, now you're looking for, okay, where's the dip buy to be able to continue going to be? This one wasn't real. You can't call it like a 3-day. It was kind of a dirty 3 days, but also 1, 2, 3 strong days, get your pullback day, and then reset. You see that pattern so much that I feel there's a few names that are specifically Palantir, Oracle, and Microsoft for sure falling into that pattern. So I think today will be that settle down day where we try to find a bottom and then resume possibly tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that Oracle call there. We talked a little bit about where Oracle was potentially going. And, I like that data center look there for Oracle, but at the same time, it's already had that decent move higher. You know what's coming tonight, man? We're going to have some big reports coming. We have Palo Alto. I mean, you want to talk about some names that potentially are AI winners, I think. Anyways, we had that little panic moment when, not CoreWeave, CrowdStrike CEO, and they're reporting as well. CrowdStrike CEO was like asking Claude to replicate his software, and they were like, nope, can't do it. And that I guess that was known. I think it was right about here back in March, and that was, or somewhere when we had these moves down. That was seen as a sign of sort of weakness for CrowdStrike, because why is this guy worried about Claude or whatever AI build is going to help them or not help them? And then we realized that, hey man, I mean the software is what it is, and do you really want to trust an agent or whatever to build you out something that's protecting all your clients' data, your internal data, and everything like that? So CrowdStrike, I mean, what a move higher right here. And if you think that there's a lot of juice in this market for some of these names, I mean, we saw, like we just said, we saw HPE, we saw Dell, we've seen all these names start to go to the high side. So then why not? Why not just continue that rally here today in Palo Alto? However, I think if I ask one of these AI agents, I'm pretty sure, and Sharif, I know that we're both interested, a lot of us are interested in these cybersecurity names, but I feel like Palo Alto always on earnings seems to go down.
They all, yep.
So I don't, it might just be a good buying opportunity, and maybe someone's front running a little bit today, being down 2.4%. So let's pay a little bit of attention today to Palo Alto and CrowdStrike and see if they do get a little bit of a hit, because they are reporting tonight. Am I correct? Or maybe it's... Okay, so Palo tonight, CrowdStrike tomorrow. So we'll wait to see what happens there. But yeah, I think it's a perennial beat, but gets hit there on earnings. And we've seen that happen to many Mag 7 names, and they battle right back. So yeah, excited for Palo Alto. I don't know if there's anything. Oh no, they're a New York NASDAQ name. So what do you got on there?
No,
Nokia?
I was just looking at Nokia here because it's only $850, and this is already $1 million to buy, and it's actually sliding lower. So that could be an interesting one for a quick little dip. Hopefully dip and rip, and then Oracle's early sell, HPE's an early buy, but yeah, I don't think Crowd and PanW are chases. I'd say no to chasing up here. CrowdStrike, look at that rally. Maybe you do. We've seen it happen. We've already saw it happen with Dell. We've seen it happen with HPE, but these would be ones that, what I'm really thinking about is, do I just trim? Because it does, you've almost doubled up from consolidation here on Crowd. That's almost a clean double up going into earnings. You can take 10, 15, 10% off, maybe that, and PanW, which has been pretty good in its own right. You just feel the valuations are always pretty crazy to begin with as well. That's the thing, they always have nutso valuations with these bad boys. So I think you got to be careful. They've always been very, very expensive, and to the extent that could end up maybe mattering, think about how far they've rallied. No one ever went broke taking a little bit of profit off, and then you got some cash to be able to deploy as well. Inevitably, when you have some of the Mag 7 coming back in and could present some value, like an Alphabet there, that drops a little bit further. It's going to get really, really appealing. Yeah, I think I like that notion. Crowd's not till tomorrow, so can always just get a little bit out. See what happens with PanDubs.
I've got 8 minutes until Gracie Abrams tickets right here. So we're going to see if we can grab some of that. She toured with Taylor Swift, and the rest is history on that one. So we grabbed some Olivia Rodrigo, and my daughter just works way too hard not to get something like. She actually did 200 shots today in the backyard. So she's trying to do 200 shots every morning before she goes to school. So she wakes up early. She goes out the back and she's doing agility training because she wants to. Honestly, I've never, for an 11-year-old, the fact that she does this all of herself, I cannot be more proud. Much more discipline than I ever had, that's for sure, and even that I have now. So shout out to that. So we'll see if we can get that going. And you don't get what you can't achieve what you want to achieve if you don't put in the effort. And that's going to be true of
doesn't matter what
anything in life, whether or not it's your schooling, your trading, anything like that. Man, our supervisor is just right here again.
And he stares us down every time he walks past. Randy does.
We may have to change his desk, man. This is a lot of pressure here.
No, he literally will walk past and just be giving us the eyeballs the whole time.
At least when Brendan's over there, he's got his headset on. He's whatever. He's in and out of the building. He's talking with people, so on and so forth. Randy is just. He's doing what he's doing over there, and it's great. It's great to have him in. We have such a great team here, and that's all what's part of it, right? I mean, we can't have these kind of good feels, and we want to thank everybody. Almost 600,000 subscribers right now. Make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe, and read the links in the description, and really help support us. We want to thank every single person that's here every single day with us. I mean, the viewership is increasing, and we're getting. Mr. Worldwide right now. I mean, we're everywhere right here, and we're actually going to start to expand. So we're really excited for all this. I mean, the sort of the studio, you guys can all see what's been happening there behind us, and some of the new looks that we have and everything. So we're really
new mic testing.
We're really super excited.
That's a new look too. There you go.
LAC. Look, so names you might not even think about on the board over there.
I didn't even realize Lithium Americas is moving. See,
yeah, there we go.
There's something.
Maybe Trump invested again. We'll figure it all out. There it is. Here's another member. Look at this. This man knows what it's all about. Thank you to Andrew Sandoval right there. 13 months right there, a member. So we want to say thank you. Shout out to that. And of course, our good friend Dragos there made a nice little play on HPE, and I guess he's been enjoying the Marvell run as well. So thank you for everybody for being a subscriber as well to the show. So it means a lot to us. Let's keep this train rolling and throw it back over to the desk.
Time to talk about a name that we don't often speak about in a positive light, but today it's to the upside with a positive catalyst. You've got SMCI. They're teeing up an AMD collaboration that's going to be showcased at this Computex event this week.
Yes, they unveiled the new ARM and AMD-based rack scales. They're specifically focused here on agentic AI and building out the sovereign data centers, essentially AI data centers and cloud deployments there. A few points that I want to make out. They're tying the knot here with Ampere. The Ampere architecture specifically is basically to bypass some of the power allocation limits which had previously plagued some of these servers. So they're able to actually reduce their compute density or the energy compute density by about 40%, I believe here, per square foot without forcing data centers to completely overhaul some of their architecture. Secondly, cooling, liquid cooling, sometimes viewed by the media as, you know, just sort of a frill or an upgrade. Can't be in this case because the AMD rack servers specifically require them. You can't air cool these. That may make it incompatible with certain data centers who don't have the plumbing. Thirdly, sovereign AI. So because national governments require complete data isolation from the US cloud giants, we're starting to see that a lot more, especially in this country as well. These platforms are pre-configured to kind of prioritize open source orchestration. So it's being built on the likes of Linux, right? Open source materials rather than proprietary enterprise suites. So interesting look here for SMCI, but I also want to bring back the topic here, if I can, for a second, to some of these cybersecurity names. I have a bit of a theory here with some of the cybersecurity names. Now, we've already seen SentinelOne and Zscaler report. They were dismal reports, and they sold off very aggressively, despite the fact that the others, CrowdStrike, Fortinet, PanW, continued rallying up. So I have a bit of a theory here, unsubstantiated, of course, but one that I have been kind of mulling over nonetheless. I feel that with the whole, you know, mythos craze that's happened, the market's gauging that there's going to be a huge influx of money by these corporations into cybersecurity. The mistake, I think, that some of the market participants made was to think that it was going to be equally distributed amongst some of these cybersecurity names, something that we've seen very consistently in the industry, right? You don't want to rely on one company lest they get breached. My theory here is that we saw the aggressive move up of CrowdStrike, PanW, and Fortinet after the dismal reports of SentinelOne and Zscaler because the market's gauging that they were not the recipients of that new funding that's going to come from corporations, and rather they were going to go to the industry standard, CrowdStrike, PanW. Let's see how they do today. That's just a little theory I have, Adair.
Yeah, let's wait and find out here. I think CRWD should be very interesting in particular. Sean knows, we've talked about this on camera and off camera, how I feel about that George Kurtz, who's the CEO of CrowdStrike, asking Claude to make him a new CrowdStrike. So yeah, let's wait and find out here what happens with CRWD. But right now, let's see if people are crowding into this to the upside.
Crowding into, well, they have been crowding into it to the upside. That could be the problem. Problem may be the wrong word. Because ultimately, like, unless you bought it yesterday, are you freaking out? But I don't know, like, who's the buy and hold thinking this is, you know, the best entry point 2 days before earnings up at $770 on CrowdStrike? I'm inclined to think that that's not usually the case. You get some shorts covering, maybe you get the day trade in there, but you don't have like heavy long betting. Maybe you've got some hedging going on. For sure, but I do feel like they're due for a healthy pullback, and that goes for both Crowd and Palo Alto. And I know it's true. We know it's true of Palo Alto. I'd have to double check to see if Crowd has done the same thing on earnings, where it's been relatively weak despite the numbers. I know that's true for Palo Alto. It's been depressing is not the right word, but it's been an ugly look for them almost every single session. As you look at the earnings, which are usually strong beats, and then as you look at the next day, and some of it has to do with that valuation, which, you know, is always always been stretched. These have always been extremely expensive. So you have to sometimes look away from that. I'm not sure the market will tomorrow or tonight and tomorrow night, though.
Okay, yeah, I just want to look here. We have Palo Alto. You talked about the valuation. So yeah, you're right. I mean, you're going to pay up for these names, that's for sure. But there's a PE for Palo Alto. 75, right? Their current forward PE. Current PE 166 is absolutely, I don't want to say insane, but you know, these are some of the values that we're dealing with. And right here, there's CrowdStrike, 161 as well. So, you know, we talk about being a little bit expensive, and yeah, you'd be right if that was one of your calls, because they're expensive. Zscaler is the name that missed last week, and you know, look at this forward PE, right? Just 33 right now. So, you know, a look right there potentially for Zscaler if you think they can right the ship on valuation. And a name that goes way back in history for me, obviously, and for many of us is Cisco. I always thought of Cisco as a security name as well. I mean, obviously, it's a networking name, but Cisco doing pretty well there with 25 PE. And, you know, Cisco stock, actually, if we're going to look at what that's been doing, CSCO, we did have a couple of guests on the show that talked about that breakout. I believe Brian Shannon talked about that. And that was breaking through 75 or something right into here. And it was like an all-time high break. And look what Cisco's done since then, up to 121. This hour, everybody, is brought to you by Centerpoint Securities. Centerpoint gives you access to an extensive, easy-to-borrow list from multiple locate sources alongside a trading platform designed specifically for active day traders. Please, everybody, visit centerpointsecurities.ca/tradertv to try today and get, guess what, 90 days of commission-free trading. So scan that QR code right there, 90 days of commission-free trading.
I just said up to 1 million shares.
Yeah, so spend that next quarter free there. Go visit at Centerpoint. Should be a great opportunity there. Scan that QR code, link in description as well. We want to thank Centerpoint Securities for sponsoring this hour of the show.
You can take 1 million of that Picard stock, because penny stock.
Yeah,
speaking of small cap stocks.
And easy to borrow too. They're very easy to borrow. I mean, that was one of the things there. So we talked about that every day, how important it is to set up, you know, your trades and set up your list based on if you can borrow it.
Got to be able to execute. Right? Like if you can't execute, there's no point setting up a short if you can't go short the stock. And we know that's the thing. And also make sure that you have enough in your account to trade a certain name. We were talking about that when you're curating your list. If you can't afford to trade a $500 stock, then there's no point in it being on your watch list. Now, Adam James abroad, you've got one for Sharif. Listen up, Sharif. GXAI with AWS news up 66%. That's a small capper. It's a $2 stock. 48 million shares, volume already done. Bit of a habitual line stepper, but if I can't think of something that bounces off $1 as often as this. I don't know if I've ever seen a chart like this. Like, is this for real? Like, how far does this? Like, if you go back, there's probably, I'm sure these are actual splits. If I pull this up on eSignal, you're going to see that there's probably a bunch of these are going to end up being splits. Let's put up a weekly there. So, well, no, only one split here, and the rest of it is legitimately bouncing off $1. This stock gets defended at $1. Like, why not just buy it at 105 every time then? Yeah, good luck, and thank you, Adam James. Well, yet another one as well, so let's throw that one up. Because we did have a second chat from Adam James abroad. Get on the CoreWeave train. CoreWeave is moving quickly for 140. So you give us a target as well on CoreWeave. It's sitting a few points shy of that. So if it gets another 5%, then you're looking at that 140 level. But it's taken the stairs back to the upside. And when we talk about the names that we're breaking out, like we were mentioning like Microsoft, like Palantir, some of these others, you look for those dips. And when they break, they find a little bit of support on the dip. That ends up being the 200 period moving average, and then you re-engage to the upside. There's nothing wrong with that when you reverse a trend or get back into uptrend. So good look there. CoreWeave trying to get back to what are some recent highs. I mean, you're not talking all-time highs or 52-week, but some recent highs up at that 140, which I guess is your target there, Adam. Let's go back up. It's 9 o'clock. Let's get into the watch list, talk a little future, and get ready for the open.
758.5, guys, is where we closed out yesterday on the SPY. We briefly, ever so briefly, hit 760, but we obviously rejected off it. That is the resistance level that we spoke about yesterday. We're going to continue to use that resistance level as we're down about 0.5% right now on the SPY at about 756, just below 757. First support level, we're going to look to that 755 number. Whatever reason, we start selling off, 755 gives way, look into that next $5 level at 750. If we continue to trend up, reclaim yesterday's closing print, which again is 758.5, resistance level 2 Adair is going to be 760.
Make sure to check out our morning watch list every single day. This is where we get the basis for our rundown and for our morning segments. You have earnings, you have economic events, you have things that are happening to companies today, things that happened last night, anything you need to know that could and or is moving the market. It'll be right in your inbox. Again, you can find the link in our description for that Trader TV Live watch list. At the top of this watch list today was Marvell, MRVL, being buoyed pretty nicely here by really high praise from CEO of Nvidia, Jensen himself, at Computex last night.
Yeah, this was an unheadlined endorsement, essentially, where Jensen publicly declared that Marvell possesses what he says is the structural blueprint to become, quote, the next potential trillion-dollar enterprise. Those are big words and high praise. Fantastic look for Marvell, as the chart shows this morning. Let's talk about 3 important points here. Let's talk about Marvell's connectivity and proximity to Blackwell. So supply chain intelligence does show that Marvell secured an exclusive design win for the electro-optic connectivity modules. That's for the upcoming Blackwell Ultra. Okay, so Jensen is kind of actively hyping Marvell because NVIDIA physically requires their 1.6D optical transceivers. But there is this antitrust angle, with NVIDIA increasingly in focus globally as well as domestically for being, possibly too big for its bridges here by publicly crowning Marvell a Keywood networking partner, of course, as the future trillion-dollar peer. They were intentionally elevating an ecosystem. I kind of try to signal to global regulators that the AI infrastructure market is highly collaborative as well as competitive, so steer clear, get away from us, antitrust regulators. Last but not least, the custom ASICs compute. So Marvell was basically directly competing with NVIDIA's GPUs. They were coming at it a different way. They were coming at it from the custom ASICs. NVIDIA comes at it from a GPU angle. When you look at this actual reporting, you look at the future of their business ties together, Marvell is dramatically shifting its forward design away from direct GPU alternatives and is sort of heavily prioritizing optical. It's prioritizing storage and custom switching silicon that complements as well as both accelerates NVIDIA's hardware. So interesting tie-up between the two companies.
Yeah, I mean, right now, in terms of the actual market cap itself, Marvell, as of yesterday's close, was around $200 billion. So Jensen Huang is trying to 5x this company's valuation. How do you guys feel about Marvell today?
I'm thinking buy at 10 o'clock, 10 or 10:30, because there's a pattern that's been forming, whether it was Dell or Snowflake or, I guess we'll find out with HPE today as well, because you maybe put that into that category. You get like the crazy gap up. It did it with ARM, and then you're just trending down in the morning. It makes this reversal candle. This one's at, on the 15-minute, 10, so like 10 to 10:15 is when that made a bottom. And I don't know if Dell will show you something similar. This was just a couple of days ago, so you should be able to throw it up on the 15-minute candle. Yeah, 15-minute. So it slides. It makes its bottom at 10:45. It ends up back where it was in the pre-market. It's a good move. It's still like a $15, $20 move off the bottom for Dell. I'm not going to bother to. Snowflake is a very similar chart. And if you look at all of the last 20 percenters, they basically had the same pattern, which is the profit takers on names that have done this rally. And all these names have done that kind of a crazy rally. The profit takers have been heavy. This feels heavier, but I'd still say just wait it out. I can't see it. If it fills in the entire gap, that would be a bit nuts. To say a level up here, I don't know how much that's going to matter because like it's blue skies. up top, so more time-based. We'll look for a reversion, but I want it to be after 10 o'clock. Let the opening range hit on Marvell. Stay away. I've already talked about Intel plan there. We mentioned SMCI, which will be trades for the open, but for this one, waiting for that opening range. We'll be looking for a long, but not right away.
Yeah, I mean, I would just treat this, yeah, exactly. I mean, I might not even trade this today. I mean, treat this as a earnings play, right? I mean, it's a huge move up. We weren't expecting it. So will there be a possible... Okay, muted. I would just agreeing with Neil, like, you know, is this a possible play today? Yes, of course. I would treat it as an earnings play is what I was getting at there. Up 16%. I actually forgot. I got to get that sticky note out. I was busy looking at everything today and forgot to get it out. But yeah, I think Marvell, we're always looking at the 200 periods. That's going to be at 250. But yeah, it's a big move higher. And I think he's getting a little overexcited here about Marvell because to say it has, I mean, just saying it has potential, 5x from here, that's pretty lofty. Now, its PE is 54, which is reasonable for what we're expecting right there. But there's the market cap of just 200 billion. So to get to $1 trillion would be amazing. I think it's a long-term hold. I mean, it's part of why, we talked about this in January as being that hold and why we recommended it, why I'm in the name. And I just think it's part of the whole infrastructure that cannot now be avoided. Investments in there from Nvidia, as we discussed already, of that $2 billion early. So they've made quite a bit of money on that investment alone as well. But here it's coming right back in. Look at the NASDAQ though, right? And I just actually wrote down, I have Google short and I have the NASDAQ short written on here. I just forgot to publish it, so I'm gonna do that in a minute. But here goes Marvell to the downside. It's not prone to what's about to happen here on the NASDAQ. I think we do flush a little bit here today. So I would say watch out for Marvell. Yeah, basing around 9:45, 10 o'clock, that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for it to develop a base so that we can rip this thing higher, right? So let's see if the buyers come in or the sellers come in. There's nothing we could do about it. The indexes will do that. And I think that they'll probably, again, with its market cap, this name's not even in the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100. So we're gonna have to get that going right now. Meetings between the Lebanese and Israeli. We haven't even, this is the first day, I think, that it's now 9/11.
Up until now.
And I haven't even heard an energy talk yet. So energy today, and this is why, not doing a whole heck of a lot. So we'll wait for a more important headline to come through, and then we'll get that all figured out. But Bitcoin right now is going the way, as I said yesterday, the way of the dodo bird here and dying pretty fast here. Will it become extinct? I sure as heck hope not. But there it is, a nice move down there for crypto, still going. I've got IBIT as a short, but don't we all? So we'll watch out for IBIT now down 4%. All right, HPE. Oh, we have Bitcoin coming out anyways in a minute. All right, HPE earnings. Let's go talk about that name. What a wild run that's had today and yesterday.
First, I really quickly want to mention this story. It's tangentially related here to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. The chairman of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, William J. Pulte, or Bill Pulte, has now also been appointed to serve as acting National Intelligence Director. So he will now be keeping charge of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac as well as intelligence. If I get any more details on this, I'll let you know. But according to President Trump's Truth Social post, he will do both jobs simultaneously. So interesting look there. Let's take a look here at HPE. Hewlett-Packard, massive gap to the upside, following in the footsteps of Dell, which is in the same sector. This is quite the beat for HPE last night, Sharif.
This is a good report, Adair, but let's not, just put on our myopic glasses here. Let's look a little bit deeper into this report. First things first, great top line beat, $7.9 billion in revenue, 6.5% year-over-year bump. EPS coming in at 44 pennies, so they're profitable. Who can complain? Especially with a $3.5 billion cumulative AI backlog. You want to call it RPO, you want to call it backlog, call it whatever you want. But the server segment top line revenue did skyrocket 18%, $3.87 billion, due to a massive AI cluster shipment. However, it came with a profitability penalty. In order to get these big servers out en masse, they're taking a hit on profitability. The market hasn't made them pay for that yet. The market focusing on that top line narrative, not the margins so far. Also, let's talk about one of their most profitable divisions called Intelligent Edge, absolutely cratering in terms of margins there. A 23% drop year over year, down to $1.15 billion. Sorry, I misspoke, said margins. That was actually the realized revenue for that division. Again, not being penalized for that because the market's looking at their AI server business. Last but not least, bullish analysts are focusing on the massive $3.5 billion cumulative AI backlog, but management, they, on the call, quietly flagged a major logistical ceiling. They're saying HBM, as well as a liquid cooling manifold packaging, is basically constraining them for putting out more of these servers and getting through that $3.5 billion backlog. So we'll have to see if some of these AI supply chain constraints hurt the next quarter.
A great look here for HPE, at least on its face, especially in terms of growth. I'm also seeing, we're going to put this on the screen as well. Keep in mind, guys, this is being reported by Iranian media, but they are saying, citing a source, that the message exchange between the U.S. and Iran to reach a memorandum of understanding stopped a few days ago. We know Iran announced yesterday that they were going to stop it. Sounds like it's been stopped a little bit before then. Back to you.
Yeah, that'll be the headline right there that you see on the screen there. So thank you, Adair. HPE, I guess they look past a lot of what Sharif was saying to stare blindly at 40% EPS guidance revision to the upside, which is, I mean, that's hefty. They were already, remember, the expectations were pretty good to begin with on the face of Dell. So to raise the guidance by that much, this is why you get 29 to 30%. We just finished talking about how, treat Marvell's gap up, sort of how the other names have gone this earnings cycle. Well, HPE fits right into that category. With the Dell move, with the Snowflake move, it's basically the same thing. They're all 25 to 35% up. The only thing it's doing differently is it's not showing you that maybe it's trapping, but it's not showing you that pre-market glide down yet. But I would still have that same set of caution here. There's enough out there that I think, there's going to be some registers rung at the open here on HPE. And we saw this with Dell. And clearly Dell was able to make that leg higher, and a great ramp job that it did. But the first day after the gap up, that was a cool itself down, find the bid, hold the bid, and then the day after, look how clean when it broke. That's actually very clean. At 430 on Dell, wow. Hold the consolidation and break the next day. I'd be looking for a similar pattern in HPE, right? Sometimes history just likes to rhyme.
Yeah, I was gonna, you just stole the thunder there. I was gonna go over to Dell, but you just did it. So I think the same kind of thing here. We always talk about when there's a gap, play to view up. Well, you're right there right now, as Neil just said. There's actually not that much happening right now on HPE, but despite it being up 30%, just the market's gonna figure itself out. There's a move down, and here's a move higher. So this is a long. There's no doubt this is a long. Will it be a long right away off the jump? We're going to find out. There's NASDAQ. Actually, this is a New York name. What the heck am I talking about? All right, maybe it's...
It was there.
Yeah, did you just talk about it? Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, so it was there. So 700,000. So, that's starting to help give a little bit of float here to this name and float higher. So once that expires, which will happen right at 9:30, then we should be able to see a little bit of a fade, I would think, in HPE as the buyers sort of fall back in a little bit. We'll see if we do get a buy bid opportunity. I don't want to call 58 because... I love where the 200 period is. That's always something that we look at. So I think if there's going to be a first look, it would be 58. But, this is all blue skies. It's up and away. There's really not much else to do with HPE except for wait and see if it does give you that level. So, we did drip down a little bit here this morning at 7 a.m. and stopped at 58 before making new highs up into $62. This is earnings levels there. So I would say you just want to watch out for 58 and let's look for a bid in and around those levels. Yeah, we are trying to keep it real. So shout out to you as well, Oman. And, that's what we do, man. We try to put out opportunities for our kids every day. And I'm always like, you want your kids to live a better life than you do.
That's all you can ever ask for.
Like Josh Allen out of Chili's, triple dipping the Q short. Yeah, look, that was, exactly. What's up to Josh Allen there?
Buddy,
hopefully this series,
he can do what he wants.
Yeah, hopefully this series got a better receiving core, of course. So
it can't be worse.
That should happen.
It can only be better.
But you still have the same coach, right? I think that's potentially a problem. I don't know.
No, we got all
of his decisions.
It's a new team.
It's a new team.
It's a new team.
Yeah. But the whole problem is the team is
new,
so that's
OC,
good.
offensive coordinator. Yeah.
I have just on that last note there. We just got the sticky note out, but I do have TQQ short. So I actually said watch out for that 85 level breaking lower. We might have just did that. I'm not even sure if that did break or not, but there it was right here, 85. So that was a level that I'm going to be looking at breaking a little lower there on the NASDAQ. So that's your 200 period moving average right there. And I was just thinking if we let this go, then we may test in and around this 84 area. So I do think that there's an opportunity here for the NASDAQ to continue to fall back in. Triple dipping on it like Josh Allen, I think that, if we're going to wait for this to go higher, it's not a bad area. I should have actually, it's too bad, but you guys are watching now, so you're going to hear it. So this is probably a shorting area right into there. I wrote down 85 break short, thinking that there could be an aggressive sort of move lower here in the NASDAQ, as you're going to see with Bitcoin in a couple seconds. But we'll wait to see here what the NASDAQ winds up doing right off the open. Could be a good punch short, 85 and change on the TQQs. So yeah, that's what we're looking at over here. And we're going to look at some crypto today as well. So let's go get the story from the desk, and then we'll talk about some levels.
I don't know about triple dipping, but I can tell you Bitcoin dipping lower here. We are below 69,000. Forget about 70K. This BTC weakness just keeps continuing here, Sharif.
It's a sad state of affairs for Bitcoin holders, myself included, and this does not look like retail panic, guys. The scale of the outflows is more indicative of institutional selling as they lose faith, I guess, trust, patience in the asset here, and reduce their exposure. Let's talk about some of these weekly outflows from some of these ETFs, Joey. We got $1 billion outflow May 15th, 1.26 billion May 22nd, 1.42 billion May 29th, and this week, it didn't get any better. On the first day, yesterday, $483.75 million left the first trading day out of IBIT specifically, IBIT accounts for 440 of that 483 million. That was outflows yesterday. I really don't have an explanation for this. Let's see where it bottoms out.
Yeah, this weekly chart on BTC not looking good either. We are currently 4 straight weeks of selling.
Well, you know what? We got a super chat right here from Nicole Vada. Look, it's the traditional 4-year cycles that still hold. This is something Joe and I have been talking about. We're likely in a bear market phase for Bitcoin. People forget Bitcoin supply is locked in code. Also, shout out Ford and SMCI I'm watching today. We don't look at Ford enough, I feel like, for whatever reason, and it's been a pretty good stock. Look, Bitcoin, it's been bearish for a while. It recently broke this trend that I know we were, ever since this trend broke, I don't think there's been a day that I haven't shorted Bitcoin. When it's win, lose, or draw, even on the up days, where it just immediately flushes, look for some kind of a top reversion. That's going to be the play again today. You just got under 69K to rebound barely above it, so we're just sitting 69 and change. So if it were to bounce, there's prior highs at 40, there's the pre-market lows, and that's all I care about. I'm going to look for a similar, if it does we're not going to actually break out, then you can find the VWAP trend. At 9:30, it failed VWAP, and it gave you another chance to get in VWAP at about 10 o'clock and maybe a looser one later in the session. So if we have that kind of a day, it almost looks like a rinse and repeat of yesterday at this point. So yeah, I'm just going to rinse and repeat.
Yeah, so I was going to look here as well at, I have it written down as a short, but I was at 40. And so that's not happening. So, yeah, and I even wrote down on the note, trying to get short here. Hey, what's up, high trader? Yeah, I know. And I think that's the problem, right? I'm not even going to look at any levels. Well, we can, but whatever. We're just going to 39.20, where VWAP is. Let's just see what happens. So I was just going to say, I think that's right, high trader, honestly. It's just there's not enough people right now worried about Bitcoin or looking at it for it to really do anything. And it's been really disappointing to see the NASDAQ go complete opposite of what Bitcoin's been doing. They were attached at the hip for a minute, and now the decoupling is real. I don't think people believe in Bitcoin anymore. And the new money is going into AI and into that space, or into space, space names. There's other things right now, quantum, nuclear names, what we just talked about there, some of the AI, the RAM, DRAM, a new ETF. So there's a whole bunch now that some of these we're all degens, but it's not, we're not running crypto anymore the way we were. When it was on its way up, these guys on the midday had that bet going. Everybody was talking about it. We had polls about it. We had this, we had that. Now it's just okay, when is the heydays coming back? So we're gonna wait for that to happen on Bitcoin. I think it's gonna be a couple minutes. So good luck to everybody looking at that, but it's a tough road to hoe, I feel like right now for Bitcoin.
With a couple minutes now to go until the bell, we'll combine these last two. So let's start here with GOGL. This one was discussed earlier, trying to bounce a little bit here with about 7 minutes to go until the open. But Google, that $80 billion raise announcement, at least on a headline basis, getting some people nervous.
Absolutely, Adair. And let's not forget the $10 billion private placement from Greggy Aces out there at Berkshire Hathaway. Let's talk about this, though, because the entire $80 billion is not going to CapEx. In fact, it's probably a little bit less than half. 40 billion, there's going to be a 40 billion at the market, program starting in Q3, and it's used to switch to a sell to cover employee compensation model. And a lot of that is going to that. And then 30 of that 40 billion is going to go to pay off an IRS tax bill that's going to be due as a result of this compensation model. Secondly, the anti-dilution. They're engaging in capped call transactions here with their underwriters, JPMorgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, basically to prevent dilution, further dilution, I should say, to shareholders. And that CapEx number that we heard about for 2027, analysts are thinking it's going to be way higher. They were guiding something along the lines of 180 to 190 for this year. We're probably going to see probably a 200 print or above for next year. Then, as I mentioned, Greggy Ace is there at Berkshire Hathaway, picking up $5 billion in Class A shares, way below market value at $351.81 a pop. And another Class C share group at $348.20 a pop, Adair. Let's see how this one trades today.
Yeah, Victoria's Secret here also on watch again as we await this bell. VSXY, strong earnings here for Victoria's Secret. We know they came out here, new ticker, switching from BSCO. Stronger than expected earnings, revenue here up by 15% year over year to $1.56 billion. And that guidance also better than people were expecting as well for Victoria's Secret here.
Yeah, not the one that I had reviewed there, but we'll keep tabs on that.
Oh.
Victoria's Secret there. I don't know. It is what it is.
Nice
Look
one.
at the ticker, man. We almost should have just put that on the rundown. Why not? We just had 925 hit, so bit of an update in the imbalances. Nokia's still there, 1.4 million to the buy side. HPE was $1 million. It is paired off and used a sell of 850,000. Zeta 840,000 to buy. iBit 700,000 sell because, of course, Virgin Galactic 600,000. There's HPE that paired off over half of the imbalance for Alphabet. I think the value is going to get good here on Alphabet. 350 looks like an obvious level. It's a prior high. It's where the ramp started at the end of April. So you get there, you're going to be at 25 PE. And then there's there in the 200 period moving average. I threw one stink bid in this morning, and I'll probably park another one at the 200 SMA on Alphabet, which I think once people have to stomach, and I said this a few times, I'll say it again, once people have to stomach the valuation on SpaceX, it'll be amazing how relatively fantastic Alphabet's going to look. And you won't be caring about this little minor dilution as much relative to what we're going to see in under 2 weeks. I almost want to say 2 weeks, but under 2 weeks till we see SpaceX, which will be at an insane evaluation.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing what's going to be happening there in just a couple of weeks. I'm just putting through those Gracie Abrams tickets right now. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. We're on VSXY.
Both of them.
Yeah, okay. Both. I mean, so I wrote down Google here as a short. So, you know, it's made that move. What I wrote down here was 370s. You know, whether or not we get up to there or not, we're going to have to wait to see. The market has made a nice move higher right there into now only down 2.5%. We were down to 365. So we'll wait to see if a break happens right there. Our NASDAQ call of breaking lower hasn't happened yet. We're going to give it a couple minutes. It's only 9:27. So lots to come through here with Google and with the rest of, this space. And we saw Oracle already in this space down quite a bit today as well. SMCI is one of those names that continues to go higher as well. But there it is. We got Gracie Abrams tickets, just $340 each. So, it's nothing.
When is she coming?
Feb.
Okay.
Feb 18th and 19th. So, yeah, it should be pretty good. We got the lower bowl seating there, so it's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, man, here we go. 2 more minutes left, and we can have a quick little look at these imbalances and see if anything's sort of come up here on the NASDAQ. Zeta, what a good call that's been for many of you guys trading ZETA. I've seen that on many of your watches. We had a good move there yesterday. This is a software name as well going upside. I believe it's software marketing, ZETA. HPE, so good name there. Space continues to, hover around that $7 mark. We'll see if that has anything going on. I don't see that PMI on here. Randy's NIO, that's here. It's up almost 4%. So that's a good look there today as well. They're in there as a bid. So yeah, we're getting ready to rock and roll. I'm going to, initially we can watch some Marvell, see if that base is out, but we got to give that a couple seconds. And then it's just Google waiting for the short. And then I talked about Nvidia as well, looking for those longs in and around 225, kind of where we closed yesterday. We'll see if we can get that bid on Nvidia.
Oh, and I keep from forgetting that BMNR has shifted from the AMEX to the NY. Look, Bitcoin looking for shorts there. Because you're at 69, I just paid for my locates because someone in the chat reminded me, hey, make sure you look at BMNR because you're so far down. Intel, yeah, okay, fine. I wanted to short the pop like yesterday, but it's already heading lower. It was a small sell, very small sell imbalance that parked this one about $1 into VWAP. But if we get a pop, I'll like that. SMCI did have a partnership story with AMD. That's sliding in. Want to look for that to either fill gap into the prior high, which is at 48, or pretty simply support at 47. So I got two places I want to look to buy on SMCI. So crypto, we're looking short. It'll via IBIT or BMNR. Both of those are going to be in play for me. And then the last one that's on the list, I think we mentioned Nokia looking for a trend break. Hold the little bull flag from yesterday, and then a trend break back in. So lots to get to, lots moving. HPE is a complete ramp job on earnings, same with Marvell. We'll be tracking all of these for you. As we ring the bell on this Tuesday, we got less than 10 seconds. Shout out to Centerpoint, they're sponsoring this hour, and we're ringing it now.
All right, here we go. Yeah, we want to say thank you to Centerpoint again for the sponsorship of this hour. Make sure you do scan that QR code right there, right now. Okay, man, here we go. So Nvidia is starting to make a move a little lower right now. The NASDAQ is making that move. We do want to be able to watch out for the TQQs in case we do get that 85 breaker. I'm going to put that in right now on the TQQs just in case it breaks. We're going to go 84.99 on the breakdown, and we'll see if we get some prices if that winds up coming through. We shall see there for the TQQs, but that's so far downside as we had sort of thought about it. Is Google making that same move down? Yes, it is. So there goes Google trying to break lower as well. So some of these names starting to float around a little bit here this morning. Nice move down from Micron. We didn't even get a chance to, we talked a little bit. MCHP, we talked about it. But there it is, man. Micron with a nice gap down, man. That just gapped down $20 right there. It was going to start at 10.50. Now we're starting at 10.30. So down we go now for Micron as well. So some of these names, yeah, starting to flush a little bit.
Intel's already at 105. That's dead at this point. So looking pretty nasty for them. Nokia didn't really make a break to get into this level here, but you know what? If it's going to break the trend here, instead of getting down into that little bull flag from yesterday, this might end up being the first shot for me. Bitcoin's not really moving. It's got some gravity to the 69,000 area. It's basically just holding right at 69,000. So it just needs to make a move. Yeah, just we're chilling. We're not really moving off of that 69K just yet. But I suspect it is going to be a big mover today. It might have to go over to BMNR to get a little bit more juice, because this one hasn't load. Because, yeah, it's actually breaking higher on BMNR. So if we see another leg down, at least this could pop up and give you a short somewhere like $19.
Marvell's finally starting to go a little bit right here as bouncing off of 250. We said that could be a key area there, 250, but that's kind of lucky if you were able to get something like that, because it did look like a falling knife a little bit right there. I'm not into anything yet. I mean, this market has just bounced off of a level that I was waiting to see if it was going to hold, and it does hold down there in the NASDAQ, as you guys can see right here. NASDAQ right now down 0.2. We haven't seen that happen too much lately, but we'll take a down day, that's for sure, if we need to. All right, it's been such a good run. So that's Marvell right there. Micron's probably the one that's going to be battling back. So watch out for this. We've seen Micron get hit a couple times and battle back. I made a mistake on Marvell earning days, and we traded Micron, and that battled way back. That was about $1,000 at that day when that wound up happening. That was that. What about Apple? We actually didn't look at that this morning either. I want to look at names that have catalysts, right? So it was Google, it was IBIT, it was Nvidia. Look at Apple. wow, just going the other way right now, looking to take out all-time highs of Apple. I believe that was 313, right? 315 all-time highs there for Apple. So here comes our TQs, man. We're getting ready to go, potentially short on a break of 85 for these guys. And again, that just sort of signals right here, a break on a longer-term time frame, 85 and change. Maybe it's 85.13 or so, but that's the kind of break that we're looking for right now on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, speaking of breaks, about SMCI, forget about that downtrend and dip. It's up 8% now. So the market absolutely, well, not dying, but the market flushing, and you're getting a monster breakout here over in SMCI. Well, I'm not chasing the move, especially in a weak market. You got to be patient if you're looking for longs, and in a weak market, you got to find your shorts. So Bitcoin wasn't moving; it's just rebroke 69. But that'll give an opportunity to take like a failed break of the high here on BMNR. Thought we might have to pivot to this because at least it was moving around a bit off the open. So I'm gonna grab the short, put the stop at this little wick high that we've got at 18, just above. It's not pre-market highs because this is like 630. It might have gone higher earlier, and it is what it is. So we'll give it like 18.7 or so on that. Do not want to chase SMCI at all. We'll let that one calm down. If the market's gonna be weak, we'll try to find another way into it.
I'm going short on a day break rate. Oh, there we go. We're short right now. I was going to say I'm going short on a day break of the Qs right there. So here it comes to the downside. I didn't want to wait for 85. So we'll put a bid here in the 18 or so, just where we just wick down to into 20. Let's see if we can break a little lower. I don't want to be in this name forever if it's not going to be right. We were looking for that, better spot of 85 breaking. We'll take a little bit now. I don't want to break this too much past VWAP here. So, if it does break back down in through this level, I think we can maybe watch and potentially get something out around 85.70 if this does not work out for us. That's that low rate there. So 85.70 coming into play for me. So I'm just going to put it right now, 85.71. If we break through there, let's get out of 75% of this trade, right? I mean, a little early, I feel like, but you never know. The market's going to have to go, right? So let's go have a quick look at Google. We're short the NASDAQ, so some of these components are what we're looking at now. So there goes Google. Nice move down in through 360, not through 360, to 360. Bounces a little off that. We'll see if that can wind up holding. NASDAQ, there it is. Yes, sir, let's go. All right, so a good little trade here to start off with as we short the NASDAQ as we had written it down. So here we come back in one more time. Put another bid, man. Put a bid in just before 85. Maybe we did hit the level properly. It's just, will it hold off of 85? I am not sure. We just got to 85.10 right there. So we'll go, I don't want to say 1 for 1. We could get out now, but we're hoping for a little lower rate now on the TQQs. So I hope you guys are in that one with me. IBIT still breaking through 69, so that's not going to happen. And then we got to look for Nvidia maybe here as a bid. Nvidia's right here where we like it at 225, 224. So maybe a bid coming here for Nvidia. I'm going to let the NASDAQ settle a bit. But yeah, Nvidia down here, 224, something to look at. That's what I'm doing here. 220. And 224, yeah, for Nvidia.
Oh, you're waiting for 224.
Yeah, it's not quite there yet. I mean, if it gets there, we'll be laughing because this TQ's trade hopefully goes to the downside, but yeah, so we're short. We're short everything. We're short crypto right now, and we're short some AI, I guess, with the TQs.
Yeah, and the only thing I'm looking long, I'm on the bid of Nokia here when it broke that trend, just trying to get picked up. I might have to move this. Sometimes you hope to get swept up in that opening candle. It's obviously already gone a little bit, but we're holding VWAP. If you confirm the hold of the volume weighted average price, I'll probably try to jump into it. I really don't want to chase SMCI into what has been a weak open. Man, this was a name that we wanted to the long side. On a dip buy, the market dipped, SMCI has not. VWAP sits at about 50.5. If we get some kind of a dip and go, at least that can be a bit of a play. And then the other short we wanted was Intel, but do we chase this one? There's always a play to maybe short a consolidation at the bottom on Intel to try to join the move. Like yesterday, it gave you the pop and fade twice. Today, it just got absolutely rugged with the rest of the market. As long as it's underneath yesterday's lows, I'm going to be taking shots at this to the short side. I guess the first stop will have to be maybe this $0.50 at 105. 105.5. Just look for something in the quarters and see if this can't get into the lows. Ooh, I just heard, is that what's strong?
IonQ?
Okay. All right, ramp up your, well, I haven't looked at the other ones, but maybe ramp up some of your quantum plays, because IonQ up 3.8%. What's Rigetti doing? And shout out to anyone if you're throwing symbols in there. Remember, put the dollar sign. I just peeked and looked at the chat. $, and then say Oracle, because I just saw Oracle in there. But you've got the quantum names making a nice run. Rigetti, hopefully IBM as well. And I'm only saying hopefully IBM because I actually own them.
We bought IBM. Actually, we're lucky enough to buy IBM at 220 right there. Yeah, it's they had the good news this morning. So IBM helping lead the way here for these quantum names. But we've seen them dip and dive before, so we'll see if there's an opportunity to get in. Dodgeball. We talked about some movies that are always on TV. Dodgeball. 85.10 right there for a bid on the NASDAQ. We took some of that out. Actually, it was 11s. So we got some of that. We're still waiting for 06s. I'm only out of about 15%. Oh, here comes 06. Only out of about 15% right now. Let's see if it goes just a little bit lower. We didn't look at Tesla yet. We looked at a couple Mag 7 names. Okay, this is broken a little lower now, 414. I mean, the whole market right now wants to go, I feel like, lower. So
Marvell's already making the bounce?
Marvell, what a surprise there.
Wow.
There goes Tesla downside a little bit here. You've got Marvell. I mean, that name's not going to be stopped.
I thought it would be 10 o'clock. I thought it would do what the other ones did, which was glide down and at least get to past the opening range before it did the bounce. So that's not going to be a chase at all. Whoops. Oh, I love when you typo a stock and then there actually exists a symbol at your typo.
That's fun.
Well, it's not fun. Because what happens if you do it, there's a symbol and you just get a key
execute
like
on it.
and you execute. Maybe someone will buy that Marvell Biosciences company that's a penny stock in the venture. I just got into Intel, so I just came in, but I'm looking for yesterday's wick bottom here in BMNR was about 18.2, so that's going to give me a bit of a target. But Intel just flashing higher back into this 105. I'm going to have to jump out of that one right quick. I have to get my stop order in there on INTC because it just came up and retested 106. Hit enter twice, not once. Twice to make sure it actually goes to the symbol. It's a feature.
We've got one on here for the TQs. It's my only trade right now. Yesterday we only had one trade on. At this point it was Palantir. Yes. Booyaka! There it goes. Let's go, man. There it is. Daily goal met. That's a chicken dinner winner for all y'all right there. We'll figure out what's for lunch coming up very, very soon, but not really. We still have 2 hours for that. 1 hour. There it comes. We just got 85, so let's go, man. Here comes the break that we're looking for. We're going to take out another bid right there at 85.01. So there it is, man. We talk about hitting your daily goals. Hey, man, not bad. 940 right there today, and we're on it right now as there goes the TQQs to the downside. Hey, man, we did it yesterday. We're doing it today. Thank you, everybody, for watching one more time. And I wanted to put this up for you. Well, you're in this, but we've talked about it all day here. And Lindenmeyer, I think you might be right. Michael Saylor yesterday selling, was definitely some sort of a sign, right? So we'll see. Not that he's going to be right all the time, but, a big supporter, obviously, of crypto and of BTC specifically.
If he's on the bid, it's a different story.
So it's like an unlimited amount of buying whenever he's around. So there we go. We get that little move down there in the TQs. I'm glad we sort of were able to sniff out that short might have been better earlier because we are bouncing quite nicely now off 85. So we may have indicated a nice little level there. I'm still bidding 93 is the low of the day right now. And there it goes, man. Let's see if we, yes. Let's see if we can have those diamond hands as we start to get a lot lower now. Let's go, guys. There goes the TQQs as it's going to the downside right now on the triple levered NASDAQ, man. We're playing with the big boys today. Let's go back over to Adair and see what she's up to.
Yeah, just a heads up here, no massive move, but I am seeing a couple different reports, according to the Financial Times, that the UAE is developing its first multi-fuel pipeline to allow gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel exports to continue even when the Strait of Hormuz is impassable. Nothing massive here, but just something, I guess, to be aware of. Also to be aware of, at 10 a.m., you're going to get JOLTS job openings. There is no economic data set to be released here at 9:45, but at 10 a.m. is going to be the next time you'll see me there with those JOLTS, unless we have any news before then. Back to you.
A twofold. I just got reloaded in IBIT. Oh, sorry. I'm not on IBIT, BMNR. Bitcoin, that's what we're looking at, but we're still under 70K. But look at the ramp up here right through that prior low on Intel. So we took the first available short, but it runs right through. So I'll get out, wait for another opportunity, whether that's pre-market high or 111 or 113 like yesterday, then we'll go with that. As I said, BMNR ended up being a bit of a pivot because Bitcoin was too weak, but that's just reloading along the volume weighted average price. So still putting in lower highs over there. As crypto has looked weak, if you're looking at Bitcoin in particular, trending down if you're looking at ETH. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't really make a difference. That's looking pretty weak as well, but not quite as bad as Bitcoin. Nokia is still trying, but not holding VWAP, so that might end up being a bit of an hit enter again. It's like, I don't know, it never flips the first time. Nokia tried to hold VWAP, but did not. So it might have already made its bounce a bit here. So I'll let it set up some higher lows. I'd rather be long VWAP or actually have gotten it on that dip into previous highs. So I'm not going to jump into that one too early, and I'm glad we did not chase SMCI. Sometimes you might miss the trade and you can revenge on it, but SMCI is pulled all the way back to its breakout spot. So it does the rug job, and now you're just trying to find some kind of a bid. It's a false breakout, which is very different than actually catching the break. If you get a false breakout and you look for the long, you got to show me a bottoming tail candle, trend break, double bottom, something a little more decisive than just a price here at like 48, 49. So I might have to wait a little bit on SMCI.
Nvidia gets right into, we still have some of these shares on board right here on the TQ, so watch out now. Coming up into VWAP, I don't mind. I'm going to put on a short there, in and around that price, but it is going to be a little dangerous right now. So I am on the bid here to get a little bit more out if we can. So we'll see if we can do something like that in and around 85.10 or so right there. I wanted to look at the TQQ, at Nvidia and HPE. There goes HPE downside. So those of you that were looking at that one, we talked a little bit about it earlier. Yeah, it is a nice downside play here for HPE. So just be careful if you're in this one. We said the bouncing spot could have been possibly at 58. So there it goes now, 58. Cerberus, again, upside today on this kind of a move, but there it goes up huge, up 5% and taken off right now. Yeah, it goes Cerberus. So we'll have to wait to see exactly where that one is moving forward now, but it looks like it wants to go higher. So congratulations, bless you, to Cerberus shareholders as well. So there it goes a little higher. And then Nvidia does bounce off. We talked about 225. I wrote down a little lower on this one. I wrote down 223 to 224. So, 225, but look how choppy this is right now as traders looking to get in, but not sure what to pay for Nvidia. Maybe a break right there of 227.50, something like that as a high. Okay, man, we've basically right now reloaded. So this trade could maybe not work out for us. Where was my stop again? 70s. Yeah, we could switch that over here into the 80s right now, but we'll be giving it back what we made if this market continues to get a little higher. Let's put it to 81. Yeah, I guess this NASDAQ right here may not want to go high, may not want to go lower than where we were. So it's a good thing we sort of adjusted our expectation there. But for right now, there she goes, upside. Nvidia's making the moves, as is Marvell. So there's a lot of names that are starting to go higher. Like Marvell, give me a break. Wow. There's, if anybody wonders why I look at the 200 period moving average, that's why. There's the bounce right there off of 255 clean, up $25 from the lows is Captain Marvell there as it just keeps on going. And it can just, aye, Captain, you are my captain. That is for sure. Thanks for the Gracie
Captain,
Abrams.
my captain.
Yeah, thanks for the Gracie Abrams tickets, Marvell. Nice move higher right here.
And, Patrick, Neil, Palantir dip by. Palantir wasn't necessarily on the list today for me. Like every other, the last couple of sessions, it's been a long. But like the rejection of the 200 period moving average here, it made me feel it was a risk-off day that I didn't think it had a short setup, but this is a short setup. It is now because support got a failed break. So huge topping tail topping tail candle on PLTR. I hate to say it.
I'm down with the calendars.
Yeah, I would be looking for some kind of a 155 to 150, like hold this trend down. That'd be the short I'd look for. But I just prefer the crypto play today. So, that's what we're going with. So I end up in BM&R because Bitcoin's not really moving much. I don't know what to tell you, but like BM&R is at least giving you some like pop and some fade, whereas IBIT is doing a whole lot of nothing. It's still trend down and still looking weak, but the best thing about the market is I don't care what sector you're looking at. If something in the sector you wanted to trade isn't moving, I promise you there's something that is.
Oh boy.
So it's that simple. So BM&R is the reload for me. I probably won't trade Palantir today, but that does look like a big time fail break. I'd be careful there.
Yeah, big time right here. Well, forget about, we already talked about Marvell. Look at Nvidia right now, ladies and gentlemen. This name just continues to smack right now. Nice moves there on Nvidia. 230 right now coming into play for NVDA. So watch out now. Another hot one here that we've got. It's a hot Nvidia summer right now, and that's going to be all over the place. So there it goes. Nice move higher here for NVDA. Taking out its pre-market levels now as well. So there it goes, right through these key levels of 227. We'll see if we can get back up. I mean, I was saying 236 earlier today. I thought that was maybe a little bit of a pipe dream, but it looks like it's going upside. And, you know, with that kind of a move higher here, we do suffer through the NASDAQ as it's just going up right up to its 200 period. You know, we love that. I love that 200 period so much that I have to respect it here. So if it does break, we will have to slap the fail and the flush bus. There it is, going to break right now on that trade. So there it goes, man. We flush out on the TQQs. Took a little bit of profit there, gave it back on that flush higher. And sometimes we get stopped out a little too early on trades. This time around, man, I think this is, you know, maybe something that we want to just wait around for, because no real idea what this wants to do here on the NASDAQ, and especially because we have our big guy, NVIDIA, leading the way higher, as well as
Is it anybody but NVIDIA, though?
Well, Apple's up a little bit. I mean, yeah, not, to your point, not like what NVIDIA is doing, that's for sure.
Like, what is leading us so far? Like, I'm looking at, look at Broadcom. Broadcom's not putting in any work. I mean, you got to put up or shut up here, like some of these other big names. Microsoft is at the lows. Alphabet is, bouncing, but at the lows as well. Amazon, what are we doing here with Amazon? Same chart, at the lows, looking relatively weak. And I get, some people have been saying, like, oh, Neil, you don't care about us.
What do you mean you don't care about us for what?
No, I think it was probably the Palantir comment. Look, man, I bought Palantir on this trend break in my personal account. I like the trend break. It's just that today looks kind of weak to me. It's down 4%, weak relative to the market. Even right now with the market bouncing, it's heading to the lows. Look at it holding VWAP. It could always reverse trend. I don't have to explain. It just looks relatively weak, man. That's all I'm going to get at. But with the market breaking higher, I'm going to take another leg out here. Just at the current low, still waiting for the break all the way down to 18.25 here on BMNR. But I gotta keep in mind that IBIT and ETH are just kind of holding sideways. Yes, down. Yes, trend down. But they're holding some support here. So make sure you get that profit when you can. Nokia still a bit of a nothing burger for me. I haven't traded it yet. It can't seem to hold above VWAP, and it can't seem to break down to where I wanted to buy it at support. So I'm in a holding pattern on Nokia. I do like some of its strength. I do want to be long this stock, but it's too much diddling in the middle here for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we were right about NVIDIA. Now that's at 230 right now and breaking a little higher. So we have to watch out for that one. And then Google was maybe the, whoopsies. Google was maybe, what the, Yago? Google was maybe the one that we wanted to look at for the short. So we should probably re-engage in that one. I mean, the NASDAQ's not going to be a short if we have Apple and Nvidia doing what it's doing, and Marvell coming back to life as well on those plays. So let's look at SoFi quickly here to see what that's doing, some of these bank names. SoFi did get a bump down into 18 bucks early, yeah, so down 3% right now for SoFi, not doing well over there. I can't imagine Robinhood's having itself a day. Well, 88 I think is pretty stable. We actually saw, yeah. We actually saw,
not bad.
No, we actually saw yesterday, you know, them sort of decouple a little bit from the Bitcoin talk, and I think that's happening a little bit more today as well, as they did have that flush early, and then a little bit of a buyback right there for Robinhood. Wow, man. I mean, I'm glad that the only long we had written down here was Nvidia right now, but we don't have it. This is like an absolute monster move right now. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a good day to check the old PA. I mean, we sold out of some ARM. We bought some more Nvidia down there at 215. Really love that stock. You're seeing ARM come. I mean, ARM selling was never a good idea anyways, but there comes ARM back in just a little bit, down 3% today. So that could be something that we want to pay attention to. Micron, another name that, you know, many of us have traded. And even when Micron was down here at 1,000, I said, this is probably the name to look at if the market's going to come right back up. And oh boy, did that ever just happen. So rewind the time 20 minutes ago when Micron was all the way down here and we were excited about it. And now you can see why Micron doing damage right now upside for traders. So there it goes, man. Congratulations on anybody that hit that Micron level. But there it goes, man. Nvidia popping, Micron popping, and it's propping the market higher. There's Intel as well, not going higher. So I think we've identified the longs in this market and the shorts in this market. Now we got to see if there's a trade associated with that. Wow, Nvidia now 231. This is going meme crazy, man. This is just, look at that. Wait, boom. It just went 40 cents as we stared at it right there. It was just at 230.80, and there it is now, 231.20s inbound now for NVDA as we approach near the highs, all-time highs of 236 and change. So let's go Nvidia here, sparking a nice rally in the NASDAQ. Guess what? We green.
Yeah, you can't stop the NASDAQ, but you just gave me a name that I'm going to go back to, and that's going to be SoFi. Yeah. Inadvertently, because the second you mentioned Robinhood, I was like, well, you know what? SoFi, is it holding that 18 again? It's 2 days in a row. Obviously, look, stablecoin, they rug jobbed it on Friday, but it's been able to hold right around this 18 level. Same thing again here. There's been big time breakups each time, so we're just going to pop the trend line in. Obviously, I'm looking crypto short and reloading it every chance I get. But if there's a trend breakdown of this downtrend, break of the downtrend, I'm going this one long. Like breakout 18.2, you'd be busting this trend line, and I like that. It's all about the setup, and I love that setup. If we can get it, haven't got the third reload in BM&R yet. The market is strong enough that this should end up. Yeah, like the market's going higher here. Bitcoin's not really falling all over itself yet. I feel like there's a chance to get another reload at some point here on that volume-weighted average price and see if we can't run this one back into the downside, get a couple of points there. Bitcoin's still trending lower, so everything seems fine in that regard. But SoFi is now on my radar for sure, and still looking for something else that sets up as a short. Because if the market doesn't actually hold, if NASDAQ doesn't
why don't you guys let us
hold
know?
Up here, I want one more thing that I'm looking for that just isn't crypto related that can be a fade. And I'm not really seeing anything that I like. You know, Nokia long is not really setting up, but I hesitate to flip there. Still want to try to be bullish on it. There's always the quantum stocks could end up breaking trend. That could be something. But then I'd rather not short a strong stock. It might just so.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to go back and forth too much. I did, though. I went right back into the TQs, kind of for that same reason. Let's just wait to see if that top has been made. There's obviously a lot of exuberance right now in this market. We just had a pretty nice move higher. We do have JOLTS job offerings. So I only have 2 units right now on this, 2.5 units. So we'll wait to see what's happening here. We are red on the TQs today, so it's going to be a red so far day. If we can get back in just a little bit here, then we can change all of that. So let's put a bid here in the mid-80s, and then we'll wait for mid-70s, as that's looking like where that 200 period moving average is, and then we'll work off of it from there if we do get a little lower. And remember, I've changed the strategy. Like, we don't need to, well, there it is. Okay, so we'll go bang on that one. Hopefully this comes back in now. We don't need to make hero plays and make for like amazing moves up or down. You know, I've decided to up my shares a little bit. So, you know, we can take profits where profits lie and then not necessarily worry too much about having those huge home runs. So there's an 81 fill right there. We're going to take 17 cents as it comes right back in. And just as Neil said, we're going to stick with some things that we know. I mean, we are, you know, we always trade the futures, I do, and really enjoy it here. So let's see if that continues to work out for us as we look at the TQQs on the downside. Hey, man, I'm bidding mid-77, sorry, and we just bounced off of me. So that was not bad, but we just did miss it. I'm going to put another bid right here at 86, see if we get that one, and just try to massage this. It looks like, I mean, the market probably going higher. You know, we don't have too many red days on the board, and right now we're flat. So, yeah, good couple outs there at the 200 period, but this trade still has a lot of room to go here.
It's worth mentioning that USO has been trending up. It's not like you're getting a reprieve from the oil market. This is very much all pre-market been putting in higher lows and got back to flat. So, I mean, that would still favor some weakness in the market, but we'll see. Like, you know, Palantir was the one. I know people were looking for a long trade in Palantir, but that's now double-barreled the volume-weighted average price. So that gives me something else to look at. We'll hold on to and short any pop that we can get when it comes to BM&R or possibly IBIT, but I want to add Palantir to the list. There's your false break of the high, there's your lower high. This one is trend down, and there's tons of room. Like, there's actually, to 148 this has room to. So, like, the next available pop, it seems like a short to me. And Nokia, thank goodness we didn't trade it. because I'd just be trying to force some kind of a long that isn't there either. Like, that's not a long. Forget about that.
Calling my phone.
It looks pretty weak. Well, we're almost at target on BMNR, because basically just looking for here where we could get in, right into the low, and then move on to the next. And that'll likely be IBIT or Palantir. IBIT could just be almost anywhere on this trend line, and any pop on Palantir. The market is looking like a little.
Market's going up, so.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, the market is looking strong, but crypto, it's just weak, and Palantir is just weak. Might have to go and slide over to where there is movement for the next available trade. Because I just got that bottom there in BMNR, so we'll ring the register. But now the quantum names are setting up a false break as well. So false break of the high here on Rigetti, and then a retracement. Shoot, we don't have locates. That's right. We got to pay for locates.
We just got a nice, it's going to break through, isn't it? We just got I don't know what just happened there, but we just got a nice move down. We got the short, and then we're able to cover some down there. But now you're starting to go higher on this JOLTS job openings. So we're going to have to wait to see what that number is. We're just going to get stopped out of this. Like, we just flushed down and we're able to get something out of this NASDAQ, but it is blasting higher right now. So yeah, this market is definitely off right here, off to the races, I should say, happening now with numbers and Adair. Let's see if it can control this market a little bit.
Ahead of the numbers, seeing some comments here from Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel saying that the Iranian regime is destined to vanish and we'll, meaning Israel, will end it. Also saying that they're going to be staying at the forefront against Iran aggression. Let's talk here about these JOLTS job openings for the month of April 2026. We are looking here for a forecast of 6.866 million. Prior print here, 6.866 million. So we are expecting no change, guys, for those JOLTS job openings. We've got about 28 seconds to go until this number hits. Now, it's also worth noting, because it's always sometimes kind of interesting here when we have a lot of talk of layoffs. You know, a lot of companies announcing layoffs as of late. Been seeing a lot of comments that this could be impacting some of these employment data we get this week. Later this week, we're going to be getting NFP data on Friday and the unemployment rate. That would likely be a larger impact, but either way here, guys, in just 7 seconds, let's find out if that JOLTS job openings is, in fact, 8.66 million, much like the prior print. And we should be getting these numbers at any moment now. JOLTS job openings higher than expected, 7.618 million. So higher than expected job openings. Let's see if we get that quits number. Quits actually lower than expected. I was seeing 2.97 versus 3.17 million. So higher than expected JOLTS job openings, lower than expected JOLTS job quits. Here is the NASDAQ just continuing this push to the upside off of that wick low that we got earlier today, just below that 740 level to start the day. HPE on watch here with earnings day one. A couple other earnings day one plays on watch here, including DG, you had VSXY also in focus here. So lots of earnings plays, but HPE, you had a double beat, you had a raise, strong report across the board for Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. You also have ABVX, not one that we mentioned earlier, I think briefly during the opening rundown, but Abivax on watch here. Generally pretty strong data for one of their treatments. However, unfortunately, if you take the larger dose, I guess there were some cancer indications found. So Jeffrey downgrading the stock due to those concerns, understandably so. This is down about 30% today. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe as we send you back over to Sean and Neil.
Thank you very much there, Adair. I want to give a big shout out to our good friends over at Trade the Pool, because they got something a little bit big. It's the biggest trade event Trade the Pool has ever been part of. The Trading World Championship 2026 is coming together with top trading brands from across the industry, and it's all starting on June the 8th. It's your chance to win big prizes, including over $20,000 in cash rewards, evaluation accounts, exclusive giveaways, and access to special live events happening throughout the competition. The only way to win is to join, and registration is completely free. Don't miss your shot, especially don't shoot it over the crossbar, Scan the QR code on your screen right now, sign up and join the Trading World Championships 2026. That was an unnecessary dig.
I saw you.
I don't have a dog in the fight, but Arsenal, hey man, you make it to the final. I'd be happy when my team make it. Well, Game 7 sucks, but I'd be happy if the Bills made it to the Super Bowl at this point. You get there, it's a victory in and of itself. Bit of a breakthrough. Let's see. We got to target on BMNR, but it's still heading a bit lower. But that's the move we were looking for. effectively like just hold under some key levels, do a topping tail break. We got to look for the next available trade. Intel, of course, turned out to be the L for me, and that's still going higher, so I'm not going to mess with this. If the price I liked, excuse me, if the price I liked was 111 and 113, and we're trending higher, let's let it work into that. Like the high came at 1130 yesterday, and then it reversed course. So this can easily trend up before returning back to course. We talked about the quantum names possibly doing a bit of a trend break. I had to go over, couldn't actually punch this short on the trend break because we don't have any locates. Well, we don't have any free locates here on Rigetti, had to pay for them. So now after missing that entry, I'll just simply look for some kind of a lower high, put in like a little bit of a flag and then break that flag down, or just confirm this trend in here at about 26.6 and take it back through VWAP. So gonna look for a short pop situation on either IBIT or, it doesn't really, I don't care which one. At this point, it could be BMNR, it could be IBIT, just want some kind of a pop. Like follow the market up, and then I can get a re-short in this name. And then one breakout trade long would be this SoFi. That's about the only thing that's looking like I love this all morning long trend down, still holding the 2-day lows, so still holding these levels. SoFi made the break at 11 o'clock yesterday and earlier the day before. This was, actually this was 10:45. So it's in this hour that SoFi's made its break from about 18 to 18.6, 18.7 yesterday, 18.5 the day before. So that's one I want to look for through VWAP here. And it's catching a bid, the market's strong enough that it can bring it up. It's probably getting pulled down by crypto somewhat, but once that releases, I do like this trend break here on SoFi, so that could be the next one. And Alan Burr, we should be all over on other names. I know we're talking about what we're trading, but IREN, anytime you see a bullish move,
Love IREN.
And you get like from this one from the 50 period, the big bullish move right into resistance. It takes a couple of days off to do what? To consolidate. There's your consolidation. It ends up being 3 days of consolidation, and now this is breaking out. The reason this works is because you forget about it. Like there's less people on it when it's gone sideways for 2 or 3 days in a row, and then it's got a little bit more energy, right? There's less people on the offer. They're trying to get out of their longs. There's the shorts that are in there have been building into some shorts looking for the pullback, so you get a better breakout. Look for that 3-day rule sometimes on consolidations because we like some IREN, and congratulations to everyone that was looking at this one. Wasn't on the list today, but clean break.
Yeah, no, IREN, CEG, you mentioned some sort of an index event later on today.
Yeah, 1.3 million shares should be on the buy side. Expected. Remember, just because it is, doesn't mean it will come out as a buy and go up on CEG. But if it does, I'm going long.
Good. Yeah, I like that. I like that play there at 350. We'll wait to see what those imbalances sure look like. Marvell, I mean, when there's a gap, we talked about playing 2 VWAP. We actually mentioned that. There's the move higher there. There's the playback. There's the playback again at 265. So maybe an area there to look at with Marvell. So we'll have to wait to see there. But yeah, the IREN army is strong. That's a name that I missed getting into. We were able to get into ARM at $2, but we missed IREN at $45. That was a great, I mean, here's the level right there on IREN. We have to look at, let's take a look at Big Bear AI. I mean, why don't we do that in a minute? I don't know what it's doing, but yeah, okay, we tried the futures one more time there at the top and it didn't work. We were able to get a little bit every time, but then just kept on blowing through. So yeah, man, I mean, the NASDAQ is going with, I mean, we couldn't be. You're not going to wipe, even though we're making some hits here where, we've been really, really surprised and happy with today's developments in the market, especially for some of the names that we're holding. But there's Nvidia falling back in just a little bit here, so watch out for that name, potentially making moves that we don't agree with back here for Nvidia, back into 230, so that should be a decent look there if there's something that you're looking to do. Nvidia at the 25 period moving averages, we don't get too many pullbacks right here, so watch out for 230 right now on Nvidia. I think that might be worth a little bit of a look. Micron just ripping again, all morning here. We had that move down lower, and we were like, wow, this name probably, if the market's going to go back, this would be the one to look at. There goes Micron. That Nvidia at 230 is something interesting, but I don't know. It's gone so hard there up to 232. It almost took out its all-time highs there at 236, and I wasn't even really thinking that was going to happen. So, 228 would be a great level, I would think, here for them as well. So that could be something to look at. I'm going to try a bit at 228 if we're lucky enough to get that. We'll very soon find out. But I'm going to try Nvidia at 228. Give it to like 227.50, this 200 period moving average or so. And if we really break the lows on that one, then I don't know. And maybe if we're going to look for a short, it would be some of the names that we thought were shorts. Okay, Google.
Crypto related.
Yeah, that name's just going upside there. Yeah, maybe just IBIT and crypto-related names. Yeah,
I literally had a stink bid today on Alphabet.
Google might be short. I don't know.
Look at that's a buy. No. I was gonna Google. It's
on Google.
That's Google. This is like a program buy. One of the things you look for if you're looking to fade this is the second it just looks different. Like, look at the 3-minute chart. I don't know what it looks like on a 1 or a 5-minute, but on a 3-minute, it's all green on the 3-minute. When it does some kind of a distinct change, that can be your program. That can be your program turning off. Seriously, yeah, okay. So BMNR, the market goes higher. This will happen. Like, you get to your level, the market breaks higher, and then the thing you're looking at ends up breaking lower. So that continues to go down. Anything that's crypto related, we're not be able to short a pop here. And you might think that this would be bad for SoFi, but SoFi is still, despite the weakness in crypto, is still trending toward this breakout. So everything in front of me says SoFi breaking this trend line is going to be the next trade. It's maybe 10 cents away. Get above VWAP, break this 1810, hold above, and then we go long. And uplift markets, Google bounced exactly off the 50 SMA on the daily.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we look at those.
Yeah, it was just exact. Yeah, my pea-sized brain put my stink bid in front of 350, the prior high, instead of just putting it at the 50-period moving average, which a lot of times that's where I would do a first dip buy. But nope, I'm sitting at like 351.22 because it's always 22.
I thought the news of diluting shareholder value here to get more into the data center would have been a negative, and it looks like it's not really. You're down 2% here, which is against the market, so we still are red. I'm gonna get stopped out of this short again. It looks like, man, another 80-cent hit possibly coming here for Google. We only have one unit. I mean, I'm not, got to get better at trading these trends, like instead of just what my opinion is, because Google right here is straight upside fire right now. We could have switched over and got long in the futures. We didn't do that, and now we just wait for Google. I mean, look, it's not. I'm not going to cry over spill milk here. This is not the end of the world. Just what we've been doing here. We're trying to trade a little bit lighter shares and trying to see if we, because a couple of times we've gotten stopped out like right at the bottoms of moves or tops of, like, look at that. Okay, Google is so strong. It just was in the 30s there. Now it just broke through 368. So we'll have a fail on anything short right now as these markets are just blasting. And that Nvidia is probably the one that's going to work out. But, that's coming back in. So, what was weak is now strong. What was strong is now weak. So, everything's sort of taking a little bit of a turn here for the worst for me because we've been shorting this move. But yeah, Oracle, I don't know, do you want to short that? I mean, that looks like a decent short, but you're above VWAP right now, so that may not work out. We've talked about some relative strength maybe coming back into some of these bank names with JPMorgan, and that's downside right now. Pretty good. Hit to $300.50, now back into $297. There's the pushback on Google. Damn. We might adjust. I'll try a little bit now. We won't. Again, we're just going to see if we can grab that on the way back in, maybe on some sort of a trend change there for Google. So there's, like I said, trying to hold out for a little bit longer. And look what happens, man. We still make that high. That high now is 368.25. And if you keep on trying to pick levels, you're going to make highs every time. So we got to be very, very specific and careful with exactly how many shares we're throwing around here at these names, especially going counter trend here with Google. So we're short right now at 367.65s. We'll see if we can make back what we lost. But right now, Google is just sending me in a tizzy here as it's just going upside. Congrats to anybody that had that one right. And we got Dragos with that super chat on HPE. And like we said, man, we wanted to celebrate it with you. We did. And I hope there's the look right there off the open. We absolutely ramped into 64.50, and so make sure there, Dragos, that if you haven't gone out, maybe right there, 64 and change. We'll see if HPE gets back up to the upside now. 58.50 for Hewlett-Packard Enterprise looks like a good bouncing spot.
And remember, that was a big buy and balance that paired off too. Like it was a 1.6 million buy that paired down to 500,000. It doesn't mean that it was going to make a high early, but it does. Sometimes sometimes that's just actually true if you look at those imbalances going to the open. Okay, so SoFi, I lied. SoFi wasn't the first thing to try to break the trend. It still might be. Like, it's very, very close, but I almost said HPE because we were just talking about HPE. Nokia, for the first time today, doesn't hold VWAP well the second time through. Didn't grab it the first because that's right at the open, but now it's got this bottom tail and this little bit of a trend break. It's still underneath VWAP, so it's not perfect, but we'll take the first shot at it. Just give it to the prior low, right? I want to see this thing get to, like, ultimately, when I put this down in the note, like, I was thinking all roads leading to the 17 even at that pre-market high, and it already put that move in, which we missed right at the open. And market is, like I said, the market's bouncing. The crypto names are starting to move back to the upside. That might still be a short for me. If IBIT can go, oof. All right, this could actually come pretty heavy to VWAP here because you got a big reversal candle, and you could come into VWAP and be really strong. So look for something in around the 39 level, and that's 69K on BTC. You want to hold underneath.
Oh boy, yeah, wow. I can't believe the move there. Sometimes in crypto, it's
I for one am shocked at this.
So wild.
Nobody should be surprised about Virgin Galactic. Took a massive dump. Why are the option calls and puts so expensive? Volatility, baby. I mean, it's 32% down after, what was it up yesterday? I don't know. What's the move in the last couple of weeks? At one point, it was 350% from the lows.
$2.50 stock or something like that.
Yeah, on May 21st, it was a $2.50 stock. So that kind of volatility is going to be insane. And yes, it'll be SSR. Once you get 10% down that day and the following day, the uptick rule is in effect. And for anyone that doesn't know what that means, it simply means you can't go short by hitting the bid. You can still short, but you can't do it by removing liquidity from the bid unless the last print was an uptick. Everyone's favorite rule, if you like the short stocks, the uptick rule is in effect. So makes it just harder to get, like, say breaking $5 and you want a $4.99 stop. It's harder to get that short. Just ask anybody that tried to grab that Cerberus trade on day 2. Like, it was a money short, but probably it was so good because nobody could get filled. Like, it broke, like, I think it was like 200 and...
Oh, Cerberus was up today, though.
No, but like, it was the day 2 play when we were on. It was like, I wasn't the only person that swung and missed at that. It was in the money if you got the fill. Instantly $10, and then another $5 within a minute or two. But because it was SSR, when the level broke, you couldn't hit the bid to go short. So the people that are selling shares they own long are the ones that won. Well, I mean, they're the ones that are getting the fills.
Right, we are now, we're in a short again. What a surprise with Google here. It's trying to break through. Oops, that's still HPE. Trying to break through 360. Okay, there it is. We got a 97 fill. So here we come back into the downside. Oh. What a bounce again. I'll put another bid here at 10s if we get, okay, we're at 9s actually. There it is, we get those 9s. Yeah, wow, what a wild ride this is for Google. Like, this spread on some of these names, this is what's taking me for a little bit of a ride sometimes. It is the spread on this. So it's like we're getting stopped out sometimes, and the momentum is just carrying these names through crazy levels. So I'm like bidding 70, there, like I'm just bidding, look at this. Now I'm bidding 75. We're almost green now on Google on the day, considering how stupid we traded this pretty much. It's gonna be lucky, I feel, obviously, to get back to Greensville. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna put another bid in the 60s and see if we do flush just a little bit downside there on Google. But we did try to play the short in and around 368. We have it now at 368.50. I don't know if it's gonna be any good. Another bid out right there. Now I'm gonna wait for 367 and change and see if we get something down there. 267.30s. Okay, here it comes. It's just bouncing just a little bit. I see Sia is in the house right now. So we say thank you to everybody for that comment there. People are excited yesterday. Where was Sia? And she's back here today. So that'll be good to have her back and probably joining us very soon. But there it is, man. Now we are $1.50 in the money right now. So we want to thank everybody for all their super chats. And here we come right back in, man. We've got it. We got it good. And there it is, man. Now we're green on Google. So, hey, man, sometimes it takes, a little bit of a move, and, that happened there for Google. But now it's coming back upside, so good covering. We only have a third left on this trade, but Google to the downside there temporarily and just bounces nicely off of 367, although that 67 thing.
Yeah, that number, look, man, you see it more often when you're thinking about it. It doesn't show up all the time, but it's still a bit of a thing. Can Bitcoin only rally literally nothing?
Rally? Oh, yeah.
No, there's one solid green candle off of the lows, and I'm thinking that's where we're going to get a chance to get short, and it's just not really happening there. BM&R, I don't know if I want to go back to that because look at how extended the move already got, and it hasn't really popped. So I'd rather join something I think has more room to go. And as long as we're underneath this 69,000, I'll just take the wick it gave me is 38 change, 38.83 or something like that. So I'm just gonna throw the stop up there and just short it where it lies effectively. Just try to get it in here and then play it back in as far as it wants to go. Like there's no obvious level when you look at the daily chart until you get like $1.50 down here. You know, we're at 68.5, so call 68,000 the next obvious place to go. But I think there's still room to get to the downside. So I'm gonna short it here. This is not a hold till VWAP. This is just like that whole prior bar because of what it gave us as we continue to head lower. Crypto's bad, bad, bad. Everyone's saying Tesla in the chat. Remember, make sure you do the $ in front of your symbols. Tesla's got strength. Tesla's breaking out, maybe a 420. I don't want to take a breakout. The market's at the highs. Be careful with breakout trades. Market's at the top.
Ripping, huh?
But it is absolutely ripping. There's one that we didn't look at. No catalyst today on Tesla that I was aware of. Probably the reason why it's catching some people off guard. But it's green into a relatively flat market. I think as long as it trends up, it's got plenty of room because yesterday was a dump job. That 420 could be something. But I don't know if that's the one I want to jump into. Like Bitcoin doesn't get to VWAP, it's at the lows like 2 minutes later or like a minute later. Bitcoin is dying. It's weak, it sucks. Michael Saylor, get back on the bid for everyone out there that likes it. Who knew? The guy who has been the bid steps off the bid and all of a sudden it gets, you know what, it sucked anyways. It didn't even make a difference if this guy got off the bid recently. He should have started selling it in November of last year. That's where he should have started selling the sucker. I still think we see that 50,000 by the end. Well, forget about by the end of the year, sometime this quarter. Why getting the banks for that? Joe liked that.
All right, so Google just broke 370, by the way, so we're able to get out of some, and then it just blasts through one more time. So not going to be positive there on Google as we go. Okay, here comes 229. I mean, this might be the long then. I mean, if we're gonna try to play some kind of trend, I mean, Nvidia's been upside right here, trying to barcode right now. We'll wait to see what this market wants to do. Wow, that Google is like crazy strong, like was not really expecting, like, you know, we had that move on the way back in there, just took out 370. So yeah, there goes Google again, upside. You know, they could probably get to positive land right now on GOOGL. So nice move there for Google. Was definitely not expecting that one. Wow, good move up to 371 now for Google. All right, yeah, we'll go back over to the desk with who?
Small cap.
Small cap recap. C is joining Adair here. So let's go back and see what's going on back there.
This first name here brought to you by Randy. He put this one in our chat. I looked at it. So this one is Blue Jay Diagnostics, a name that's rallied in the past. BJDX. Thank you again to Randy for bringing this to our attention. Blue Jay Diagnostics and Argonaut Manufacturing Services entering into a strategic partnership with one another. $6.5 million market cap for BJDX and a float of 910,000 shares. Next up, HUBC, this one at highs. This one trades, it feels like constantly you're seeing this one rally in some way or another. HUBC does have, A, the name's Hub Cybersecurity. We know cybersecurity names on watch. And B, you've got only a 560,000 share float, I believe. So sub-million share float, pretty significant there. Last but not least, GRRR, Gorilla Technology entering into a $2 billion AI infrastructure deal in India with none other than Supermicro Computer. GRRR, another name that's rallied in the past with a $637 million market cap, 25,000 share float, and a 13.3% short float. Back to you.
Thank you, Adair. So finally getting going is Nokia. It did this at the open. We're just looking for a repeat of this move into the 17 level. So there's your trend break here. We're at VWAP, so the stop moves up to just underneath the break even at this point. Because remember, the volume weighted average price just got rejected. Like, this isn't a downtrend from these highs. So I want to see continuation, but I don't want to be stubborn about it. So we'll give it back into that break even stop. Bitcoin's still looking relatively weak. And I get it. There's been some chatter saying, well, Saylor only sold 32 Bitcoins. True, but it doesn't take, when you stink or when things are in a downtrend, you don't need overwhelmingly bad news for it to continue. That's all you got to really think about. Like right now, there's a million places to put your money that are getting, not a million, but there's a lot of places to put your money risk on, which have been just yielding ridiculous returns. Just ask anywhere in the AI trade. So then why does money need to go here? And we're just waiting for a point where people like it. Maybe that will be down around 60 to 65K where it bounced before. It could be true. But until then, let it do what it's doing, which is fall. Every single day. Just about. Without much reprieve. Like you'll have some up days, but they're not really that great. Like you'll have a breakout day and then it'll fail. Look at this. Like it'll fail the prior day high and end up doing nothing, and then you get more of a rollover. When even your up days look pretty relatively weak or sideways on the chart, that tells you a lot for Bitcoin.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not been a good ride for Bitcoin. It's not been a good ride for AMD either right now. AMD just, like I said, man, you're trying to play some strong names. I mean, there it goes up to 520 and you're like loving life. And then all of a sudden comes right back into the 200 period moving average again here for advanced micro devices. So, you know, going to try to just do what we've been doing and try to play off a little bit of technicals anyways. It's going to take a minute to get filled. I just put a bid there at 50 and that just, damn. Like the spread here, like I just could have punched 50s or 60s and then it goes immediately $1 there to the upside. So we're trying to have faith in these names, but they still got to go for us and give us the right fills to make sure that we don't break too much lower. 505 50s or so would be a breaking spot for me on this. We'll put a stop order in there just in case it does, you know, come back in and we're able to, you know, have a quick little look at some more trades here for, there we go, we get a little bit of long now on advanced micro devices. We'll see if we get one more long. We're fitting at 506.50s. Hopefully that fills and we'll get a little more shares than we have right now. Not a huge bid for me here. We'll just wait to see what winds up happening now with AMD on a little bit of a take there. Like, look at the spread. It's 50 cents right now on advanced micro devices. So let's see if we can close that gap a little bit and take advantage of that. There it is. So now it's, see, look at this. Now we're all the way up again. We'll see if we can ring the register on $1 just by playing the spread on advanced micro devices. What exactly is happening here? This is a very, very violent spot, and I'm not sure I'm comfortable trading.
Volatility's up.
Yeah, like 40, 50 cent spreads. So again, but it's a $500 name. I mean, it's kind of like, what do we expect, right? We are expecting some
AMD needs to split, actually.
Yeah, these all could probably go for a split at some point.
Micron first. Micron will split first.
I hope so.
I think Micron's the next stock in the market to split. And
That'd be nice.
Not counting IPOs, because whatever. We already,
just put it back.
SpaceX already did one.
We'll put it back into a trading zone for us, right?
Exactly. And I think that's
$1,100 or SanDisk or something.
A lot of people don't trade those, and nobody wants to play. Not that they don't want to, but a lot of people can't play options when it comes to that. But with this pullback in the market, move the stop close to break even. As I said on Nokia, I like that it broke the trend, but I don't want to be stubborn when it loses VWAP. And it'll seem like a random out. Trust me, it's not. It's like, whoa, look at that. You got the temporary bottom on IBIT. That's because we're at 68,000. So when I took this little topping tail candle short, the play was 68.5 on Bitcoin to 68,000. Like, that's all I was looking to express. And now we'll look for the next opportunity. Maybe it's just short the next thing in crypto land that looks good. Went from BMNR to IBIT. Heck, maybe MSTR sets something up next. I don't know. Maybe Robinhood sets something up next where you can just continue in the shorts. Let's go over to SIA for the first time. MSTR SSR.
Thank you, Neil. Today's hot pick is AADX. I know it's not a name you've heard before. That's because the company is not public yet. AADX launching tomorrow with its IPO on June 3rd. This company is transitioning to the public. I'll give you a bit of a history, but it's based in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, the IPO valuation target currently stands at $3.59 billion. The company's capital raise goal is seeking up to $682.5 million. It will be offering 32.5 million shares that will be priced between $18 to $21. Now let's take a look at a little bit of the strategic growth and portfolio of the company. The company's financial momentum for the year 2025 stood at $498.8 million, which is up 24.8% from the year 2024, where the number stood at $399.8 million. Moving on to strategic origins of the company. Now, Applied Aerospace and Defense was not just that. It was Applied Aerospace, and it has been merged with PCX Aerosystem. This was formed by Greenbrier Equity Group last year. Now, moving on to critical hardware. What does this company do? Well, let me tell you, it's a leading producer of flight control surfaces, engine shafts, as well as rocket motor cases. That's all. What are you excited for this company's IPO, and are you going to invest in it?
No. But yeah, I think we have that Quantinium coming up on June 4th.
Oh, that's Thursday, not tomorrow.
Yeah, so that should be a good one there for sure. But thanks, Sia. That was a good.
Could be bad timing for these guys.
Oh, Nvidia.
Well, no. I just mean it's INIO, and because that's an energy play on Thursday, and Quantinum, whatever. I don't care how you pronounce it. It's QNT on Thursday. You don't wonder if we continue to see this kind of like fail breakout pullback, those IPOs could end up being those quick little rug jobs because market sentiment matters a heck of a lot. Let's go back up to Adair, I believe. Adair?
USO and watch. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is currently speaking at a Senate hearing, and if you guys know me, you know I'm listening to this. He's been talking about Iran, also saying that the U.S. is in talks with Iran, and, quote, there is a prospect that Iran has agreed to negotiate aspects of the nuclear program that they previously refused to mention in discussion. So obviously that's very wordy, but basically it sounds like there's at least the potential of Iran having agreed to negotiate aspects of the nuclear program. We'll have to wait and see exactly what that means. I'm sure he's going to get questioned further on Iran, but I'm very excited to listen to this entire Senate hearing, so we'll keep you posted if there's any more Iran talk, or less likely if there's anything else related to the market here. Back to you.
Okay,
Thanks,
so,
Adair. Yeah, and we'll keep our ear to the ground. I mean, USO's not
bouncing a little bit.
Here, I'll show you. USO's not doing anything too crazy. Although, look, if you're paying attention here, how about this? 135.5. Look at all these wick tops at 135.5. Because what you usually want to watch for here when you've got a resistance like that, if it breaks out this high. If USO takes out 135.8, we got problems. Yeah, the market probably holds red. You get that steady uptrend going. I was looking to see if maybe Robinhood could be like the next thing short after getting out of that IBIT trade and BMNR, and then look for something to pivot over to that'll give a good setup. This could be a VWAP play. I don't know about SoFi anymore. Thank goodness we got out of Nokia. Like that took, like the second I got out, Nokia flushed right into the low, but it's coming back. So Nokia's holding the bottom. I still like this for a long. I don't want to be sitting on the bid at the lows for it to break down on me, but it's holding prior highs. It hasn't made a fresh low at all, but it is downward trending when the market is not. And when that's the case, I just need it to be breaking the trend. So it broke the steep trend here. Now just look at another trend break on Nokia. Just wait for the next opportunity to get in. Not chasing any of those crypto moves. We've already come a little bit too far. And we're still at 68,000, so nothing really changed on Bitcoin. But I'm feeling like I don't want to be short the bottom at 10:30. 10:30 is that pivot time. Like it's the time in the day where I start thinking about reversions for good. So that could be this. SoFi is not really playing out that way. It's nowhere close to the trend break that I wanted above VWAP, so it looks like it'll be another shot in Nokia for me.
Yeah, I was a little distracted there because we could have taken, I mean, I'm thinking about this. I'm short right now on Google, which again, we've been short Google the whole day, which has been wrong. We're just playing small to see about that 371 area, which are coming up here. I'll show you. We're coming up to it right now. I think I want to try a 371 area on Google. And again, it's just coming right into your 50 period moving average right there. So we can see if that winds up holding or not there on Google, as we now have a position short here, and we'll just wait to see what winds up happening here with Google. Hopefully a little bit of a pullback, and we'll be able to capture said profit here on Google. But that's what we're trying to do right now, and go for it on Google. Nice move lower now, so we're gonna have to get out and capture a little bit of this profit here on Google as we make it I mean, now we're green on Google again. It's just a absolutely wild ride. They're waiting for that 371. But hey, I'm hitting keys like a madman right now to make sure that we do capture, because the last time I said, oh, well, we're green on Google, we were red pretty fast on that move. So here it comes right back up. Couple good fills down there near 370, but here, see that? Here it comes right back up again. So that was a really good fill for us up there at 371, but here it comes right back in again. Thanks, Google. Can't get me a winner, I guess. Back, we'll bid some 50s. But with the spread, I'm not really sure where this thing could go. So I'm bidding at 370.25. We just took some more out there at 370.50. Okay, take another bid there. There we go. That was me bidding 53s. So we get filled there, and now we'll wait to see if we do get another fall back in. Hopefully, this time breaking 370, then maybe looking at 369.50 or something. So we'll put a bid at 370.05 and see if we're able to capture something down there on Google. But yeah, so far, not the greatest trading today, trying to go short on everything. We did just capture some profit there, but you know, we're only out of half. So let's wait to see. I'll take another bid right now and see if we can get another fill at 50s. There it is. So let's see if Google now can finally collapse for us. That would be nice. And then we'll make a little bit of this money back for you guys on that one. Really, my only red stock, if Google can hold, would be the Qs. We did short, and there's that bounce again off VWAP that we just talked about. So maybe a potential trade happening right in front of us there on the TQQs. But yeah, man, Google's a surprise to me today. You know, we were down that 3%, almost a little bit more, and it battled all the way back up. So congrats on Google trading there, guys.
That the 50-day moving average is just on big cap stocks, especially Mag 7.
It's been good.
It's just a place where people like to buy. So is the 200. It should have been looking there instead of the even dollar level at 350. Birdman, ASTC is threatening. SQYT quickly becoming your favorite sleeper that no one talks about, because we know Astrotech. Astrotech, they were the guys with the best press release of all time that went parabolic. And so, yes, recovering is the right word, because for the last couple of days, it went from 56 and got cut in half. So put it in perspective. And then, shoot, what was the other one?
Well, I have one of these.
We have that Rubik's Cube.
Well, maybe this is it. Yeah, look, we got two Rubik's Cubes. Yeah, night trading.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So there you go, night.
Is that
security?
It's probably still even around. You know what? Whatever happened to our remember we had the Instinet football?
Yeah, we had little things you could.
Someone taxed. First of all, that was my football from the other office. I had the little mini football, and then all of a sudden it disappeared when we moved offices.
Like my vest, my blue vest has disappeared. It was here when I left from Minnesota. Now it's gone. So who knows? Maybe that got.
Sometimes, like, you know, like Instinet's just, well, people probably know who Instinet is, but they have nice little mini footballs, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good idea by them back then.
It disappeared on us. Things always disappear around here. I'm not saying back in the day a trader probably walked off with it, but back in the day a trader probably walked off with it. This SKYT I'm not familiar with. Sorry, that was the other name from the super chat. It's done 300,000 shares. We never mind bringing it up. We appreciate the super chat. It's clearly, it's on a break, but this would be in like the no day trade zone. What it obviously, I don't need to, but I can do any one of these. Like, you've got a long-term trend line, you've got a short-term trend line, and if you're long these, like the way I always play them is the hold till they break the trend kind of deal. So great runner you got there, but ASTC is the one that'll likely be a little bit more exciting to you day traders out there. Nokia is still trying to break, but not doing much of anything. And if I'm going to jump back into a short, it feels like it's a race for something to pull back into VWAP for a lunchtime short, whether that's IBIT. It's not going to be BM&R, I don't think. So I'm thinking IBIT. It's something crypto related. So BM&R or Robinhood, those are the two that I got the eyeballs on. Not BM&R, IBIT or Robinhood, as BM&R is just too far gone, and I don't want to chase that low. Nokia did not. It still hasn't really held above VWAP, and I feel like that's what I'm going to wait for. Let it try to break out above the volume-weighted average price, and let me get involved in that break here, because the one underneath just didn't go, Adair.
And GM both bouncing off the lows in a pretty notable way. Now, I'm not sure if this is 100% related, but the headline that made me look at these stocks in the first place was Canada formally pursuing the USMCA renewal while demanding relief on sector tariffs. Now, again, super unclear if this GM and 4 bounce has anything to do with that, but that is the reason I pulled these up in the first place. Once again, here, keep an eye on Forward and GM strong. And then also we have Canada formally pursuing USMCA renewal, but they're also demanding relief on sector tariffs. Back to you.
Nothing, thanks, Darren. Nothing is stopping Google here. That just mooned again, but good thing again, like we only had a third left, whatever we said. So we covered a lot of that, but just didn't help us by going any lower. So it's running, that is for sure, right there. But yeah, you know, we looked at Ford the other day here, just talking about maybe some deals here coming through, you know, on the space. We saw Tesla making highs. There's Ford making a little bottom there at 15 and change. We'll see what winds up happening there, but not too bad of a look here for Ford today, off the bottoms of $16. We'll see if that has anything to do with anything. Again, 371, I thought could have been maybe a short for Google. Let's try one more time. I mean, I don't know. we're definitely going against ourselves here. That would have been a good trade there. I'm looking at, I mean, now we're just going to lower and wait for a flush on Google. I'm going to lower the shares, wait for a flush on Google, and see if that wants to go. Nvidia might be the better trade. You know, it's just, this has also fallen back in $4. Will Google have the same fate? Don't know, but there it is, 232 down to 228. You know, maybe enough juice is now out of this name that we could catch something at some point here on NVDA. So, all right, here we go, man. It's coming right back in to the levels that we didn't really defend too well last time. We got some out, but not everything. Google coming right back in into the 20s again. Let's see if we can catch a bid downside and then wait for that break. But the way this name is going, I almost feel like Berkshire is on the bid today. Like just, you know, they've already got their shares. They're going to get some more in on this name, and they want to support that $10 billion that they threw at Google with those shares. So I don't know. Maybe there's something going on with that.
It could be people just chasing Berkshire buys like they tend to do.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if that's going to be this. I don't know if that'll be the same weight as when it was Warren Buffett making those calls.
Well,
that remains to be proven.
We have to wait
because back in the day, if Warren said he was getting into something, you were good for a day or two. You know, you'd follow that, and it's like, imagine just being able to announce that you're in something and then get an immediate 5 to 10% bounce.
Yeah, well, that was.
You know, and then congratulations, all credit where credit is due to be able to have that kind of clout. But it does make it pretty nice for your positions that the second everyone knows you're in, you get an insta 5 to 10% bump. And he had that.
It gives you a little floor.
No, but for the entirety of my trading career, that's been true for Warren Buffett, or was true for Warren Buffett. You can't say that anymore. Greg's got to prove himself. All right, Nokia, here's our other chance. It's breaking out above VWAP, so another potential trend break, holding the volume-weighted average price. Just looking to get in. I'm sitting right here at VWAP. Pick me. I am on the bid. Oh, I'm at 70. I'm on the bid at 73. It's at 74, 75. All right, I'm going to move to 75s. Get some there while leaving the 73 in there as well. So just trying to get hit on the bid in front of VWAP. Keep it the same. Like this prior bar low here is going to be the out. And we'll just give it to underneath that little trend break and see if this one wants to go. Nokia has been, hey, it's on a good rally. But what I like about this is you're still, relative to some other names, as much as you've been pulling back, it's consolidating above the highs, like above these prior highs, above the yesterday's tops. So I think there's room to this 17 and then go from there. If it can break 17, even better.
Okay, yeah, we'll hope that we can get some more names in here for you guys. Halter yesterday was JZ. It's halted again a bunch of times
Probably
today.
down.
Yeah, what was it at yesterday? Yeah, now it's only down 83%. And again, we had, forewarned, we're not the smartest guys around here, but
easy. What?
Yeah, we had talked about, this, and if you were holding this one, sure, was there a chance for it, for it to moon? And, yesterday in the after hours, we did start to go up. I mean, right at 4 o'clock. And then I always feel like, and again, maybe this is cherry picking because we already know the results, but, when a stock doesn't get going in the after hours, sometimes, that's it because there's no halting. So if it can't get going, the buyers can step in the sellers can step in and sell this thing down. So, we kind of.
That's so bad.
I think we did a good job of trying to warn you guys a little bit here about JZ, but there it is to the downside. So yeah, not great there today. Halter multiple times today, JZ. So be careful with that one. I think it's back over the desk to Adair, I believe, or. All right, then let's go.
Yeah, I guess if that JZ stock doesn't work, you can just get that dirt off your shoulders. In the meantime, let's take a look at this sector board because there is, I would say, pretty distinct divides here between the sector performance. You've got a lot that's green, a lot that's red. I would actually say in pretty equal measure. Industrial services, really strong. Utility strong. Non-energy minerals, strong. Producer manufacturing, quite strong here. Electronic tech, strong for the most part. There are some asterisks here. Micron down about 1%. AMD down. Intel weak. GE to the downside. Boeing red. But then you've got GLW Corning up about 13%, Cisco up 5%, Apple, Nvidia, and Broadcom to the upside. Tech services is going to be a lot weaker with the notable exception of our friend Meta, META. This is actually holding on to that 600 level. You've got Google, Microsoft, Palantir, Oracle, ServiceNow down 8%, Accenture down 5%. A lot of these software names that had a bit of reprieve yesterday, they're pushing right back lower today. Consumer services weak, retail trade weak, health tech weak, and commercial services weak. Back to you.
ServiceNow is down 8 points today.
Exactly.
Yuckity yuck yuck. We got teriyaki.
Ooh.
Well, we're not eating. Well, maybe we're eating teriyaki, but teriyaki.
This guy's
Hi guys. Hope you're doing well. What is your guys' opinion on Hood, on their annual meeting today and the WonderFi acquisition? We're here in Canada, so I would love to be able to tell you that I think WonderFi acquisition is a gigantic deal for Hood. I don't think it is. Part of what made being long late last year in WonderFi, when people were like, oh no, they pushed back the closing of the deal. I'm like, look, man, they're going to close this. This is a rounding error. They're not pulling out of this deal. Because WonderFi was like a 35-cent stock and incredibly small. So unless you were sitting there tied up in some shares at like 26 and 27 cents, like myself, late last year, you could probably not care whatsoever that this deal is closing. And I don't think it moves the needle whatsoever for Robinhood. I would say Robinhood would be trending much better than this if not for the fact that crypto sucks right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Bitcoin sucks, but you are putting in a bit of an upward channel. So the good news is upward channel off of the lows. The bad news is we're at 67.9 on Bitcoin. We were just at 75 last week. Then we're losing 72 support. Then we lost 70 support. We've already lost 68. So that's gonna weigh on it a bit. Remember the PDT rule, I think on
June 4th, I thought.
Yeah, 2 days. So I guess Thursday we'll get the PDT rule gone. That should be a good little spot for them. But the buy is at the bottom of the channel until proven otherwise. Either it breaks the top of this channel and can accelerate, or it's just slow channel up, 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. And someone said I was making a Paula Abdul reference.
Paula Abdul, you are making.
When I did that yesterday. Yeah, that was her joint.
Of course that was her joint. Paula Abdul was fantastic.
She was
yeah, she was like a boss back then, man, when she was
she had some hits.
Dancing, singing.
She had some
like
hits.
a J-Lo, basically, you know. Yeah, good shout out.
Probably
there.
more talented than J-Lo. J-Lo has like some of the songs that you think J-Lo was singing. Remember?
She wasn't.
What was that?
Singing.
Remember Ashanti?
Yeah.
One of J-Lo's biggest hits. You go back and listen to it. The hook. That's Ashanti. It ain't J-Lo.
Oh, the hook. Okay.
No, but it's literally Ashanti did the demo.
Yeah.
And it's her when you listen to it, and you listen back to it. You're like, oh shoot, that ain't J-Lo. It is.
But what is J-Lo pretending it's her, or because
no? Well, they just bring up so
what gave credit.
Well, what happens with this? The song gets demoed and put out to people by the person who does the demo, and that was Ashanti.
Right.
But when she was singing, when she was singing the track, all they did is bring up Ashanti to like 80%, and then a little bit of J-Lo. So when you're listening
Focus
to
on
it,
that sound.
you can't hear J-Lo on it, and maybe she doesn't perform live without heavy backup tracks.
That's Jenny
as
from
well.
the block, you know. So watch out.
I said it.
Watch your mouth.
I actually saw her at South Beach one time.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's the best thing about South Beach. Like you just be walking
around.
Yeah, and then
remember, I thought when I was there a couple of years ago, I thought I saw Rick Ross, but it wasn't. You know, when you're in there, you always.
If you're in Miami and you think you saw somebody, you probably did.
That's why I was like, I think
Miami,
that might be him. And it was at Fontainebleau there.
You
and
probably did see.
I don't know, man. They were all around a pool and they had it like cornered off. I don't know. It looked like they were doing some sort of video, but
dude,
I'm not. I know who Rick Ross is. I don't. I think it was. Mick Moss,
no,
if you know what I'm saying over there. I think it was like one of those copycat Rick Rossers.
For sure
over there.
For sure you did.
I don't know if
Miami dude.
I'm not sure if he was hustling every day or what was going on over there. But right here, there it is, man. SMR, every day we're hustling. We're trying to hustle. And right now we're getting hustled by Google. We're trying to wait for that short. We're flat on that trade right now, waiting to see if that could come through. But there goes Sam Michael Roberts, and this is new scale, of course, SMR breaking higher right now on the day. This was a name that I did not average into my portfolio. I was trying to get some, and again, we missed IRA, we missed SMR, we get ARM, but so that's been a good trade. But there it goes right now. So far, so good on this trade for anybody looking at SMR today. I mean, able to grab that at 1250. I don't, on the daily, it's not like this is looking like a banger here or anything, but you're looking for it to break through this level. So I was trying to front run a little bit of this move and try to catch it down into here. I think it was 11, I think I was literally at 1150. And we just missed it, and we didn't activate that trade back through. So we should have potentially punched that long. But hey, maybe you're at a top, maybe you're not, who knows. But there it goes right now for SMR. trying to go. And yeah, like we were just flat there, and like I'm just waiting to see if this level breaks. That's right where I am right now on Google. So I want to try to give this a little bit more room to see if there is some settling down right now in the market, because for right now, the names that are really starting to go, there goes bring it back for Nvidia. Rubio's talking more about Iran right now. So,
we got a super chat in here. I just thought I'd throw it up.
Yeah, what is it doing? Big Bear AI. I mean, this has been
What up, Luis?
This has been quite the day for trading, and Big Bear AI not giving the looks today, but we had a good level for Big Bear AI. And we just mentioned yesterday, some of these names probably are getting a little frothy. They're not making a whole bunch of money. The PEs just aren't really there. So just be careful with some of these names. I mean, we can't ever guarantee where they're going, but I would think that Big Bear AI does have a chance to move. But there was the 200-period moving average coming right in right now on BBAI. So it could be a good sell. I'm long at 420. I'm going to hold on to this. I want to wait for a break higher. But right now, yeah, Big Bear AI at the 200-period moving average.
If you zoom that out further,
yeah,
Big Bear AI for like a year held the 200 like a champ.
Yeah, so we're there.
If it held the 200 on the way up or on the way down, first resistance, it bounces off that level so many times, for sure. Well,
it's good look on that one, but 200-period moving average. Be careful there,
exactly.
Luis.
So you know what? We got some out there on Nokia on the bounce. It's still looking good. I just want to make sure that this trend break holds on to the trend. Like we're still at prior bar stop, but I'm going to look for reload at the volume weighted average price and play back into the highs. What's IBIT doing? Maybe making a. It's trying. Look, Bitcoin's trying to get back to the upside. That was a pretty decent bottoming tail candle.
There goes SMR.
This was 68. This was 68,000, by the way. If you're looking at IBIT, 38. I don't know, like 38.35 or 38.4. That was right at that 68,000 level. So a bounce here can possibly give us that VWAP. This might set up SoFi. Okay, this is going to set up SoFi for that trend break. So we're going to go up to Adair at the desk. We've got money talks and we've got some news.
The news is Marco Rubio, and he is currently just speaking here about the Strait of Hormuz. There's a lot of questions coming from senators as to what is the order of things. So basically, we know that they want Iran to reopen the strait. What are they looking for to get the strait reopened, et cetera, et cetera? U.S. Secretary of State Rubio saying that any sanctions relief on Iran would be conditions-based, so it's not going to be, completely free reign. That we already knew. We've already heard reports that any sanctions relief would be kind of fragmented and also based with specific conditions. Iran also apparently has to commit to specific negotiations on the disposition of its uranium, again, according to Sec State Rubio. If I get any more details, I'll keep you posted, but he is still talking, and I will be listening very excitedly to as much of this Senate hearing as I can. This daily chart here on USD, super choppy, guys. It continues to make these highs here around 99.50, make lows for the most part here around 98.9. So pretty tight range there for DXY. It is worth noting we did get some economic data. JOLTS job openings, those came in above expectations here. 7.618 million versus 6.866 million expected. That 6.866 million was also our prior print. So again, guys, higher than expected JOLTS data. Tomorrow, we're going to get ADP employment change, so we get another employment print. Then on Thursday, guess what? We get another employment-related print, initial jobless claims. And then on Friday, we have more employment-related data. You get non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate coming through on Friday. We are expecting a market drop in non-farm payrolls. 85,000 here is the forecast versus 115,000 prior. Let's see what happens here with the jobs data in store for us for the rest of the week. Back to you.
Well, you'll have to if she keeps playing.
I know, that's...
Well, I don't know. We have to only have one diamond. That's the problem for us. But we were just talking about baseball last night. So right here, Google, we got some in the 30s, at the 25 period. So that was a good trade, but still waiting to see if it can fall back in. Doesn't look like Google wants to participate on the short side. I thought that break right there, like we had barcoded a little bit there, kept on trying to break, thought we were breaking down, and then, of course, the stupid line that we have up here held, and that is your 25 period SMA on a 1 minute chart just held smooth right there. So yeah, now upside. It looks like Google's going to take out the day's high. I'm still, because we were able to get some out, I'm going to wait around a little bit here for 373. But yeah, we are now really starting to get going here on Google. It looks like it has some rocket boosters underneath it all day. And you know, I had written down the short. I'm trying to sort of stick with it, but yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to be a winning trade at the end of the day. We almost, like, if that would have gone back through and just give me 371, we would have been flat, like, you know, honest truth there on the day on it, but we can't. We're not. We're definitely not flat now as it's starting to go back upside. We're trading a little less shares, get a little bit more around 373. I just can't believe where Google's going today. It's going to go green on the day, and that's pretty incredible considering what we've seen lately in this market. So good job there for Google. I guess they don't mind all that spend after all, and you know, a little dilution of shareholder capital there never hurt anybody, I guess. So there goes Google upside as they're buying it up. So shout out to Berkshire, who I believe is probably doing a lot of that damage here on the sell side.
Yeah, those that are kind of following it. A lot of people in the chat are saying what's going on with Nvidia. Probably some rotation, like from Nvidia to some of the other mags, right? That makes a little bit of sense to me. But it is definitely trend back down here on Nvidia. I hear Randy in the back, and I see you guys talking about Rivian up 4% today. Do they have deliveries? It's the beginning of the month, so maybe that. You know what? Forget about this. It doesn't matter what it is. Rivian hasn't had a red day in a week and a half. That kind of went unnoticed. It certainly did by me, because Rivian's just not on the radar. I stopped trying to long this stock. I was in it a couple times. Each time, it just couldn't seem to do much with the $20 level. It did it, like, broke 20 one time, and every other time you're just sort of sitting there, you know, getting your 12 or 13 to like $18, and then next thing you know, you're back at 12 and 13. And I'm watching a bunch of other things in tech go crazy. So I'm like, what are we doing with this? Like, I'd rather be dipping on ARMs and the GEVs, the things that were working other than Rivian. But it's done the same move. If you like $13 to $18, Rivian is your stock. Is you can get that anytime you want. Every couple of months, you can get 13 to 18 on Rivian, and that's a good return. You're still having 30 to 40% on a bounce play until that one time you get rugged, and then
That's the thing.
Well, that's sort of how it works.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know,
it's good. It's always good till it isn't.
I think the car's going to deliver, right? I mean, I think they're going to hit their goals, and you know, I do believe in Rivian, and
take them over Lucid. How about that?
Take them over every other name.
Non-Chinese?
How about that? Yeah.
Well,
every other EV name.
Over Tesla?
Yeah, but Tesla's not. You know,
that's why I like Tesla, because it's not just EVs.
Well, exactly. People holding Tesla. Rivian is very much a pure play.
Well, now they're also the services too is part of Rivian as well. So
but that's EV. Like, it's based on their EV. What I'm saying.
Of course.
Like, Tesla's got
way
obviously other things available there, including what they're trying to do with the robo taxis and things like that. Rivian just trying to stay in their lane.
Baby.
Right now.
And robotics.
So, yeah, in the robotics. So that's what I'm saying. So Tesla has
a
lot going for it, that's for sure. So if you like your Tesla stock, it might be on sale these days. It just tried to break through 420 actually, didn't it? Yeah, so there it is. So now it is at 422 right now, Tesla. So watch out for that name starting to go higher there, breaking through the high of the day. So yeah, you can't, you know, we talked about you can't keep a good company down for too long. Yesterday we had a decent lunch. It was Thai food. All right, let's find out what is going on today. Yeah, I heard you gave it a 7.4 or 7.1. I think that was probably right. Pretty good. Always a little salty, though, all that stuff. Yeah, I know what it is. It is a Jamaican flag, and whenever we get a Jamaican flag, Sharif's already told us what it is, and we look at the map, and it is right on the menu. It is, this time it says authentic jerk chicken. Okay, so there we go. Jerk, authentic jerk chicken.
Watch out, Adair.
It says jerk chicken brown sauce.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
Yeah, it's coconut rice and peas, so that's good. I mean, that generally, bless you, that generally gets going there as well. Roasted seasoned vegetables, not bad. And then a coleslaw. So that's not bad. That's what's for lunch. I think that'll be decent.
The slaw's okay.
The jerk chicken plays, you know, it can be good. So we'll.
It tends to be, you gotta be, look, they're serving to an office, so it's gonna be mild in my books. When they say authentic, I don't think it's gonna have that much heat, but I don't know where Adair is, but my guess is Adair is not gonna be eating it. She doesn't do spicy food.
They are really avoiding the tilapia now. We haven't had that in a minute, so I think there's been some feedback.
It waited till I got off of it, and then we haven't had it since. But the salmon, we haven't had the salmon either, so I should.
The salmon, that'll probably be coming.
Salmon's delicious.
Yeah, that'll be coming soon there for salmon. Remember we talked about SMR? Oh yeah, IBIT 68. We talked about SMR breaking out and I didn't take it. Well, there it goes right there. 1325, busting up to 1360. There goes SMR. Nice move higher right there as we continue to get going on that one. Yeah, jerk pineapple would be good. Their barbecue pineapple is actually really good. So we'll have to watch out for SMR. There it is. ARM making its move back. ARM had, yes. Okay, well, there you go. So all these names, man, like the strong names, the Microns, the ARMs of the world, and apparently the Googles of the world continue to make new highs here as we approach 11 o'clock, and the market is now well into green territory, both on the ES and the NASDAQ. Will we hold? Nobody knows except for somebody smarter than us, and we'll wait to see what winds up happening here as we are off to the races in many names this AM. Micron, chief among them. That name is absolutely ripping right now. Sorry, I did Micron, didn't I? There it is. Oh, wait a minute, my bad. Micron did fall back in there, not Micron. Wow, there goes Google, by the way. Just took out 373. So Google's low today was 59.
Can't believe it.
So now you're up huge, man, up $15 right there on Google. So all day, every day, man, Google, making the shorts like myself look pretty foolish there for just shorting that thing. Pineapple tilapia, that would be a disaster.
Yes, that would be a disaster. You'll see, I'm back into BMNR. It doesn't get to VWAP, but it got close enough and put a topping tail in, so I'm going to jump back into the crypto short's been, they suck. CPCO, I don't know, whatever. Thanks for the super chat. I can't figure out what that name's supposed to be. Thanks for all you do. Thoughts on Oklo and CRML, in outs.
Nvidia's coming down.
You're probably just looking for levels on those stocks, so why not? There is an energy name doing an IPO on Thursday. This will probably be good if you're going to get some strength. You've already mentioned SMR, Sean has anyways. But if you're looking for Oklo, I feel like it's still doing this higher low consolidation without the breakout. SMR did a break, if memory serves. Here, let me. Oh no, SMR is the 50-period hold, is in the midst of breaking. Hasn't really done it yet, but it's in the midst of trying to break out, and you're getting a similar look for Oklo here, but its breakout is closer to 80. So a little bit more strength breaking the consolidation, but Oklo needs to take out that 80 point. It's been good from the low mid-60s to the 80 level, which is not a bad return. It's kind of like Rivian. You get your 20% bounces, you don't complain too much. But when it breaks 80, a little bit more juice to be had there. And the criminal is critical metals. This is Sharif calls it criminal all the time. I love MP. That's what I'm in. But this is definitely holding the uptrend, hugging both major moving averages and heading higher. I think it's put in like a little temp bottom, and you've got a wedge break forming as well. I just personally like I own MP Materials. It's finally making a move. I roll my eyes when I say that because if you weren't basically you could buy this thing at 40, and that's about it for the last year and a half, and it's done nothing with the 75 level. So it'll go in the money, but then it's back at the 50. Then it'll go in the money 20, 30%, and then it's back at $50. So hopefully this time you actually get the breakout. The longer the consolidation, the better the break. I prefer MP, but I think you could look at Caramel or Criminal and say the same thing.
We're finally off the struggle bus and on to Nvidia right now. So we just got out 75 cents there for Nvidia. It just came right into our level for the low of the day at 25. We had written down, shout out to you guys in the chat there talking about the sticky note, but it did come into some levels. We could wait, so I do have lower bids as well. We were trying to wait for maybe 223, 224, but that level doesn't necessarily have to hit. I mean, we wrote that one down at 8 a.m. or whatever. And so, when it's coming back into there, we just looked at yesterday's closing area, and that's what we based it off of. So, oh man, of course we get stopped out. Like, this is what I mean. As soon as we give up on Google, we get a nice little downside play there, which now would have been well in the money on that short. We were short at 80s right now, and it just printed O's. But here it goes. It's Nvidia right now that's really starting to spike up a little bit as we make a little bit of that money back. And, we're always looking to make something back. So we'll go there at that 50 period, move 25 period. Oh, wow, we're over time. 25 period moving average, 226.50.
Yeah, we are.
We'll put something out right there and see if we get it. And maybe Nvidia does scream back to the highs, and we're able to put a little bit of a winner back on the board here for you guys. And $1 coming on Nvidia right now. So yeah, thanks for the show. It was a good one. Thanks to all of our sponsors today as well. Make sure you do check those links in description for more details on them.
That's real trading too. And they'll owe us a couple of minutes here. So we're going to have some jerk chicken. Watch out, Adair. They said it's authentic. The jerk chicken is authentic. It might be spicy. You never really know. I'll enjoy it either way because I think it'll be fantastic. You guys are about to enjoy the Professor and Joey Options.
Joey Opsh.
See you too.